Hey everybody, welcome to Back Issue. I'm Sal.
Ethan. I'm Ben.
Hey, we're doing Dark Knight's Metal. Woo! It's happening!
Coming for you!
We're talking about Dark Knight's Metal. It's written by Scott Snyder with art by Greg Capullo. There's a gazillion tie-ins. We're focusing on the main event. We don't need
the main event.
Yeah, we're not. I don't care about the opening acts, about the mid-show crowd pleasers or the tie-ins. F you. It's all about the
headliner.
Yeah, the headliner, which is this. This came out a couple years ago. It was like the biggest damn thing ever.
I remember hearing about it.
Yeah, they were really like gearing up for it, and there was a lot of like teases about it. And so this is essentially a crisis. Originally, I think they called it the Dark Crisis, but then they were like, "No, we don't want to call it a crisis. We're going to do the Heroes in Crisis thing in a little while. We're dealing with Doomsday Clock right now. Too many crises happening."
Yeah.
And also, I think they were like, we really want to just kind of focus on the metal aspect of it. Or other people call it DC Metal, or Dark Knight Metal, or Batman Metal.
And the major
Batman's
character in this?
Yes, Batman is the fulcrum upon which this entire event rests.
Okay.
He is the catalyst. He is the headliner.
He is the most metal of all of them. I mean, that makes sense.
He is
Look at him.
He's Dio of this book.
Is this happening like simultaneously with Doomsday Clock? Like, how does this fit into like the sequence of?
Don't. Like, here's the other thing about Dark Knight's Metal is that New 52 happened and Rebirth happened.
Right.
And they never had a crisis to say like what happened and what didn't and what was kept and what wasn't. Like Tomasi put a lot of effort into realigning Superman's origin and kind of implied, along with Jeff Johns' efforts, and the universe kind of shifted along with them, you know? Like really, it's just that we had no roadmap and we didn't make any plans, and so, you know, writers would come on board and they'd be like, wait, so what's the Bible for New 52? What happened, what didn't? And they're like, fuck you, just write, just do whatever.
Yeah, it all happened.
It all happened.
Just be loose, man.
Yeah, just well,
This is jazz we're playing.
Yeah.
Yes, all of it.
No.
And none of it.
Yeah. Like, well, yes. Okay, well, what about Tim Drake? Get the hell out of here! So
It seems like you have like really like specific opinions on a couple of things.
and it's like not
and no
enough
opinion on
to
anything
completely upend the universe
That's just
just
it, it's
to
opinions.
marginalize them. So Dark Knight's Metal is just this event that is coming out of / responding to the mess that is DC continuity. And it's amazing because Snyder's like, I want to use all this stuff and I want to have all the history between characters, you know, so that it matters and people gravitate towards them. So that like when Batman and Superman like literally dive into the belly of creation as brothers, it's not like, I just met you like 5 years ago and we're kind of colleagues or whatever, but I don't agree with you fundamentally. Like, no,
Right.
They are friends. Like, it's Man of Steel, John Byrne, Superman, even though we really haven't established that and we're still kind of in the New 52 universe. Like, we're doing stuff where, you know, there were 2 failed Martian Manhunter New 52 relaunches, and then they just went, we're just not going to use him for a long time, and hopefully people just forget about him.
Oh, we'll just forget about it.
yeah, that
the character on the
in
Justice
comics.
League. Sure.
Fans just kind of forget.
Oh, yeah, especially fan favorite niche characters.
Yeah.
Dark Knight's Metal is a crisis, but it's not, because if we call it one,
Then it's gonna be.
then
Well,
there will
then
be
it matters,
expectations.
and, yeah.
And I'm calling it Dark Knight's Metal not just because it all hinges on nth metal, which is the 9th of the precious
Yeah.
heavy metals of the DC universe, but also because we want to have fun with it. We want to rock out with our cocks out. We're just having a baller time. Yeah!
That's crazy and insane, right?
Exactly. And it's
Yeah, this is gonna be the backstage book of the DC universe.
I love how they're also like, just turn your brains off and have a good time. But also,
It's like steeped in continuity.
When you said turn my brain off, what about all this other shit that feeds into it?
what about the shit that needs active cognition?
Right. You have to think really hard.
Yeah, or at least remember shit. Like there's like, okay, so we're all having a good time, right? Let's jump into metal. Here we go. By the way, look at the Justice League in the formation of horns. Yeah, like this should.
Oh,
God.
yeah. That's cool.
And Capullo hides people given the horns in every issue of Dark Knight's Metal. So if you pour over your
Find
copies,
the secret horns.
yeah, then you get the secret track to the amazing album that
No,
is Dark Knight's
if you
Metal.
find the secret horns, then all these characters, when combined, will form the devil.
I mean, they do when combined form like a cool Voltron robot. So, but we'll get into that very soon.
Oh no.
But like, so the whole thing's springboarded by the fact that like Hawkman is a complicated quagmire of a character with a host of continuity. But let's just narrow it down to Hawkman has many lives, and every time that like he dies, he's reincarnated, and there's another Hawkman, but it's the same Hawkman, and he just keeps going. And sometimes he's an alien from Thanagar, and sometimes he's a guy named Carter Hall, but it's always the same Hawkman. And sometimes there's Carter Hall and a literal Hawkman from the stars, but they're both the same guy, and that's really all you need to know about Hawkman. Yeah, it's a disaster of a character. But he is cool looking, and he has history because he was a founding member of the JSA.
Right.
But let's not get too deep in Hawkman, even though he is also a linchpin in this book. He and his wife, Shiera, or Kendra Hall, who equally is a Hawk woman, Hawk girl, who could be an alien or a person or both at the same time. So every time that he gets his memories back, he returns to this journal that he's been carrying for like 1,000 generations or whatever.
Okay.
And so Carter Hall's journal is kind of like the key to all of this. That like Carter Hall's been keeping this journal about like the secret history of the universe and the multiverse and like the secret behind nth metal. Because of course Hawkman has also been connected to nth metal. What is nth metal?
What is nth metal? Yeah.
Nth metal is.
You act like we know what that is.
Well,
I've
I've offhandedly referenced it throughout our years, but like
Probably.
nth metal is the ninth metal of DC's like precious metals. You know, like there's in Marvel there's Uru metal and adamantium and vibranium.
Right.
Well, DC has their own metals.
They do?
Yes, they have like.
What are they?
There's eighth metal, which is the metal of the gods. It's like the purest metal that is made to aid the gods in their efforts. Diana's bracers are made of eighth metal. Okay. Well, an nth metal is not really supposed to be the ninth metal because it's just the nth degree. Nth is a expression in mathematics that means like an indeterminate number,
Right.
not ninth. But in this continuity, it is because there's a 10th metal. But we'll get into that later. Nth metal has always been
around.
Yes, nth metal's always been like, this metal, this precious metal that the Thanagarians or the Hawk people used and their mace, and it's
really strong.
It's a hand-wavy way for them to say that Hawkman's mace can't be broken,
Right.
or it can do stuff, it has magic properties,
Right.
or it can
It's the
conduct
same-
electricity.
Whatever the book needs it to be.
It's exactly that's right.
It's the exact same hand-wavy bullshit that adamantium.
Adamantium,
Well, except- yeah,
vibranium.
right, and
Except people tried to like kind of put explanations.
and they
into
do.
like
Well,
that.
vibranium can like absorb sound or reflect it. And, like
Right.
adamantium
is just super strong.
is literally from the word adamantine, which you can find in the Bible, which means like indestructible. So like there's actual roots in that. Nth metal just means like it's because like when you say something that's to the nth degree, you're just like whatever.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And that's what nth is. It's a lot of metal, or it's a lot of whatever
of
the hell made up
awesomeness
bullshit
in the
is
metal, yeah.
of that metal.
Strength,
Yes.
durability, whatever.
And no one's ever really bothered to talk about it.
Right.
So Snyder's like, wouldn't it be fun if like nth metal is actually the key to everything?
Okay.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's a genuine question, which I agree.
Somebody should do that.
Right.
Someone should explore.
You know what? I'll do it. Especially the guy who invented elements like electrium, which the Court of Owls use to allow the Talons to resurrect
Okay.
from their hibernation, or Dionysium, the precious metal that was found in the Batcave that is like a primordial Lazarus-esque element that in the Batman event Endgame, Batman and Joker have their final confrontation and they die, but like Dionysium flows into their bodies and brings them back to life and heals their wounds. And then, after Batman like died and was resurrected without his memories, he kind of went off the grid and found a girl and like kind of settled down for a little while. The Powers Corporation within Gotham City discovered a new element, which they call Batmanium. And Batmanium can do all kinds of cool stuff. So there's like
They
these...
just call it that because like I really like Batman.
Well, they're-
and I discovered it, so I get to name it whatever I want. So, or is it like connected to Batman in
Both.
some way?
The Powers Corporation didn't know that at the time.
Ah.
But it's ironic they called it Batmanium because the element is intrinsically tied with Batman and his legacy and like all of history itself.
Wow.
And it just so happens that Snyder invented it like 2 years earlier. So we're establishing that there's metal involved in this event called metal.
Yeah.
It's a long way of saying there's metals in this.
It doesn't
They're
just
gonna
rock. There actually literally is metal that's important.
Yes, because it's not just like just like real metal. Like you're listening to it, you're rocking out, you're headbanging, but like if you listen to those lyrics about banging chicks and riding motorcycles, there's like
Or
a
death,
real, or death, or the devil, or how awesome you are. there's some real subtlety that like finds the connection to the human experience.
Yeah.
The Justice League is on War Moon, a moon that has been taken over by Mongul, because Mongul's all about war worlds and stuff, so he takes over this moon, and he's got the Justice League in the palm of his hand, not literally. He's weighed them down with this kind of like armor that saps their strength and powers. So it's like, oh look, they're wearing metal, but like this is bad metal. You don't want them wearing this, because it keeps them from being as powerful. And he's got this whole gladiatorial arena, as he's wont to do. That's
Right.
Mongul's whole bag.
That answers my question of why are they in armor? Like, why would Superman wear armor?
Right, exactly. What does Superman need armor? His skin is armor. I've always said that.
Well, why doesn't Superman just break out of this armor?
Well, it's because
It's sapping his strength.
Yeah, because it's special armor.
It's made of not kryptonite.
Where
Yeah.
did he get it?
Where'd he get it?
Where'd Mongol
In
get
his
it?
travels. He's a
Oh.
warrior and a warlord.
How did he capture them?
It doesn't matter.
Was that
Who
in the
cares?
tie-in, or-
Nope. It's just
It was nowhere.
No, it's just we're dropping in the middle of this adventure.
Oh, okay.
Classic Justice League.
Did we go back?
No.
Damn it, we always go back.
I know, but we're not.
Okay.
And every member of the Justice League gets their own robot to fight?
Yes. Yes, because Mongul has captured Toyman, a young super genius, who played with being a hero and a villain at 2 different points, but now he's in Mongul's thrall, and he forced him to build these complementary robots that look and have the same color schemes as each member of the Justice League. They're fighting them, and each one is built to counter their talents and strengths, and
Right.
so they're getting defeated, and Batman is facing off against his robot, and he looks down its gullet and he sees something that gives him pause, and he laughs to himself and then tells the Justice League to follow his lead. And so what he does is he reaches into the robot's mouth and finds the logo for Batman, and he pushes it and it activates, and then the robot unleashes a torrent of cables which wrap up Batman and then pull him into his mouth. And as he's being swallowed by the robot, he says, "Follow my lead, Wonder Woman, tell them what to do." And she's like, "That's right, everyone follow Bruce's lead." And he's like, "Yes, go into your respective robot, reach into its mouth. You'll find like a special logo that's your logo, push its button, and then let it devour you." And Wonder Woman's like, "You heard him?" What? The Justice League is all eaten by their robots, and Batman reveals this was a Trojan horse that Toyman built into all of our robots. It's why they're all specialized. It's why they all are reflective of us. And basically the whole thing is the name of the beasts that fought him were called Fulcrum Abominus. We needed to all be absorbed by our respective robots,
Right.
so they could come together to become a cool Voltron robot. And then they
Right.
could then control the robot and defeat Mongul,
Defeat Mongol.
which they then do.
Okay.
Okay. It's cool looking drawing.
That's what this book is supposed to be.
Yeah.
And if that was all it was, if this is just an excuse for Greg Capullo to draw cool shit, that'd be all you'd need.
Right.
But Snyder's like, yeah, but I'm not that kind of writer. I'm not just
Right.
going to give you
There's
cool
other stuff in here.
There's depth to this.
Right.
You know, what about the metals? What about the realms of the Undying? What about the Oblivion Bar? What about the Dreamscape? What
Well, that's why
about
this
the
isn't-
multiverse? What about everything? What about creation and story itself? What about that?
That's why this isn't just like a book of posters that you buy. There's a
Right.
story
There's-
involved.
You know what's funny? If you just did that, I think it would be the #1 selling comic of the month. It was just a,
Cool drawing, just a book of cool drawings.
yeah, if it was just Greg Capullo's Baller. And it's just awesome images that you'll never get context for of the Justice League doing random awesome stuff. The problem is Snyder would not resist, and he would then take that book and then write a story that connected
Connect
all
all
of
the. Oh, then you get the splash page.
Uh-huh.
That was just the intro.
Yes.
Nice.
Boom.
So now they're done and they're going home.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And when they get there, everything's gone to shit. And you know the Challenge of the Unknown?
No?
Yeah, well, their mountain completely erupts in the middle of Gotham City. Yeah, the Challenge of the Unknown are basically like a Fantastic Four allegory for DC,
Yeah.
Oh.
but like earlier.
Okay.
And they're explorers and they're geniuses and they have their own thing. We talked about them in New Frontier a little bit, but their base of
Oh,
operations
yeah,
is
yeah.
Challenger Mountain, which actually isn't necessarily like one defined place. It erupts wherever it needs to be, and so it literally blasts out from the middle of Gotham
It's like a
City.
pimple on Earth.
Yeah, so it blasts out of the middle of Gotham City, and
Let
so
me guess,
they-
Batman's real happy about that.
he's not. He is miserable. He scrambles the Bat family to go deal with crowd control, while he and the Justice League go to the mountain to check it out. The Challenge of the Unknown logo's on there, as if to say, "Hey, you remember the Challengers of the Unknown? You want to see them? They're not in this. But
We're gonna reference it.
maybe they will be.
Oh.
You know, New 52 was like, who gives a shit about all that other stuff? We're only going to
Right.
focus on these few characters and how cool and new and young and hip they are. But now that the sales have died down,
Yeah, that's past.
that's past.
Yeah.
Let's introduce you to some characters. Like, hey, you know who we haven't talked about in a while? The Red Tornado. Can he be in the book? Hey, how about we use this event to springboard into a new, bold, dark era of DC? We'll create new characters that are birthed out of this whole thing. Hey, remember when Scott Snyder invented that character that isn't a Robin, but is totally a Robin, named Duke Thomas? And Duke Thomas was just a little Batman in a yellow suit, but he didn't have a code name because they were like, I don't know. And the audience kept guessing it, so we just kept changing it. Well, he's in this too, and he's got a little bit of metal in him too, and it turns out that he has powers as well. Yeah. And will that be important? No. But like, look, I'm laying the groundwork for a bold new era. Oh, you just want to read about Batman? Okay, well, throw that out. So long, Duke.
It sounds very like Bendis. Like, I'm gonna put
Yes!
my thing in there, and we'll see how it goes. Do people
Bendis
do you
did
like
that
this?
constantly in New
Yeah.
in New Avengers. I remember him being like, "I'm gonna make a whole story arc where Doctor Strange is no longer worthy of being Sorcerer Supreme. Who's the new Sorcerer Supreme?" And then no one picked it up, and he's like, "Brother Voodoo," and people were like, "No," and he's like, "He's not anymore."
Okay, let's put that away.
Okay, well, that, you know what? You miss every shot you don't take. So they go into Challenger Mountain and they find that, like, the Blackhawks are there. Remember the Blackhawks? Like, that's what this book is. You know, you're like, I just wanted to... Wait, whoa. Hey. Challenger Mountain. Wink. Is that going to be important later? Shut up. Because look at the Blackhawks.
Why don't you go sign into Wikipedia and just look up the friggin' Challenger Mountain and Blackhawks?
That's
and...
what friggin' this event, what it needed to do was just, it needed to be digital. So you could just keep clicking the whole goddamn book and just be like, oh.
But you never finish reading it because it would be a million links.
Yeah, no, it would just take like 6 or 7 days to read. The other thing is, like, it doesn't matter because New 52, like, but they're different, or that doesn't matter, or they don't exist, or they do exist, and that's in direct contrast to what happened just now.
Do the characters in this book be like, oh, the Challengers, remember them? Or are they like, who's this?
Neither.
What?
That's the best part.
They don't acknowledge-
It's not like Superman goes, oh, the Challengers. And they're
Right.
like, what are you talking about, Superman? How is it you remember shit we don't? Nor are they like, oh, who are these fine gentlemen? I look forward to working with them in the future. No, they're just like, okay, what's going on? Why is there a mountain in Gotham City? There's too much tension. Too much stuff is going on. We don't have time to give you context as to whether this is happening in continuity or not.
Nice.
But it is. It has to be.
Right.
So the Blackhawks show up and they're like, what up? And Batman's like, I know who you are, because Scott Snyder wrote a story called All-Star Batman in which Batman encountered the Blackhawks. So at least Snyder's paying attention to his own continuity.
It's like, yeah, I already established that Batman knows them, so he can know them here, and no one's going to yell at me.
Right. So Batman faces off against Lady Blackhawk, who's like the leader of this team, and Lady Blackhawk is Kendra Saunders, who's obviously Hawkgirl, but she doesn't have wings and she doesn't know she's Hawkgirl yet, so she's just Kendra Saunders, leader of the Blackhawks.
And it's a very apropos name to be a Black Hawk when you're going to be Hawk Girl.
Precisely. So she's like, here's the deal. Let's all go to the South Pacific. So they leave.
Wait. Challenger Mountain exploded in Gotham.
Yeah,
Why are we
yeah.
going to the South Pacific?
Now let's all leave.
Because one of the Blackhawks was in it and said that that's where they need to go.
Yes.
They got to follow the threads of this mystery.
Yeah. So they
She's
leave.
their only lead man.
That's right. So they go to this island in the South Pacific, and they're like, okay, here we are. Welcome to Black Hawk Island. We've got this cool statue of Hawkman. Remember Hawkman? And they're like, and she's like, shut up. We don't want to establish whether you remember him or not. Look at this.
No time for that.
No time for that. Look at this. It's something shiny. She has a piece, a fragment, a shard, if you will, of nth metal. And she's like, nth metal, this is important. And they're like, uh-huh. And she's like, look at the walls. It has photos of characters that are or aren't in continuity. Like Starman and the original Blackhawks, that flew planes and punched Nazis and stuff. Hey, the Metal Men, they better be connected to Nth Metal in some way. Will they play a role in this? In tie-ins. And she's like, and this is all connected to Grant Morrison's dumb fucking map of the multiverse. And she whips out the map you can buy.
What?
of the multiverse.
Oh my god.
And she's like, so here's the deal, though. We thought this was all there was, right? A multiverse. But if you stranger things it up and flip the multiverse map over, you'll notice that the back of the map is black. Unless you buy your copy, in which case it isn't. And on the back side is just darkness. Why? That's the dark multiverse. There's a mirror reflection of the multiverse that's evil. And if you're thinking, wait a minute, but isn't that like Earth 3 and the Crime Syndicate?
Aren't there already evil universes in the multiverse?
Shut up! Because not only do they not play any role in this, but they're also not even like from the dark multiverse. I was like, oh my god, right, Earth 3 was like maybe a preservation of the dark, like maybe that's like the indication of the dark multiverse exists. It escaped or something. Nah.
So is the dark multiverse version of it good?
Yeah. Shouldn't it be?
Is it a light?
Well, shut up, because we don't establish that either. So Kendra's like, yeah, all of this is connected. Red Tornado, the Challenge of the Unknown, and especially Batman. Because
So there's a multiverse and a dark multiverse.
yes.
Isn't that just another part of the multiverse?
No, that's
No.
an evil multiverse, the flip side of the multiverse. Because don't worry.
The multiverse is light, Ben. This multiverse is dark. You see, it's completely different. It's the exact opposite.
Yeah. They do explain where it comes from and why we don't know about it before right now.
Right.
So at least that's explained. So Kendra's been investigating this whole like Carter Hall journal, which is missing, by the way. They don't know where it is. And at its core, the ruler of the dark multiverse, Barbatos. And Barbatos, of course, is a creation from previous continuity in DC. In fact, I think Peter Milligan invented him in like a one-shot involving the Riddler, which involved like a crazy cult that tried to resurrect Barbatos. But the reason why anyone knows who that is because of Grant Morrison, who used Barbatos in his Batman R.I.P. Batman, never dies arc. And so Barbatos is essentially like this great dragon that is obsessed with Batman and kind of like may have inspired Batman to become Batman.
What?
Is he a bat dragon?
Is he black?
He is very disappointing looking. Because Grant Morrison and Peter Milligan were smart enough to not show you Barbatos.
Oh.
But Barbatos is the main antagonist of Dark Knight's Metal, so he has to show up.
Right, so it's because he was built up, he's going to be disappointed.
Well, and also, like,
it's just a drawing of a thing.
It's just a
at the
drawing.
end of the
Well, and it
day.
has to be like of a dark god that like
Right.
is homaging metal and Bat Out of Hell covers, and so it's like at least you don't see his face.
Okay. Did Batman, like, encounter him when he was going through time, like in the different eras?
Batman's hit by the Omega Sanction. He's sent back through time. At the end of Final Crisis, he's at like the beginning of man, and he's like painting on walls, and he's got his utility belt on the side. That is when Barbatos first takes notice of Batman, and he's like, "Ooh, that guy. I could use him because A, he's not from around here. He's going to be like later.
Yeah.
But also I can inspire him, and in fact, he inspires the entire legacy of Batman to the point where Wayne means wagon, which is in etymology apparently true, and he is the wagon that will bring forth Barbatos into this realm.
Oh.
Yeah. And so Batman's like, shit. And this is all, by the way,
Grant
found out.
Morrison did that, or that's it here?
No.
Okay.
Grant Morrison sent Batman back in time.
Right.
Yeah.
Snyder was a big fan of Grant Morrison's and was like,
Right.
ooh,
I'll use that.
But he
What
did-
if this?
But Barbatos was in it.
Barbatos was in it, but he wasn't at the end of Final Crisis.
Okay.
But he is now.
Right.
So
He was always there.
He was always there. Barbatos is.
All right. But it
now.
wasn't set up for it to be like a thing later.
Not at all.
Okay.
No, the reason why Barbatos is in Grant Morrison's run at all is because Grant Morrison loves Batman stuff and read all of it and was like, ooh, Peter Milligan played with that Barbatos character. I'm going to use it too, in a more Grant Morrisonian way.
Oh.
So he does, and then you get that.
Right.
And then Snyder's like, ooh, me too. And everyone's like, okay, I guess. So anyway, they find out that Batman is going to usher in the end of the world. Red Tornado freaks out because like he's on ice. Like he's just in stasis because he's in the book and no one's bothered to use him for a while. So here he is.
So that's where he was.
Yeah,
Stasis.
he was on Black Hawk Island under watch of the Blackhawks.
and
got
he's a
out.
robot, so like, yeah, he just hung out.
Essentially, when he sees Batman, he's like, "Oh, it's you! You opened the door. You're gonna screw everything up." So he creates tornadoes, because he's a red tornado. And then Batman leaves because he's like, "Shit, my goose is cooked. Everyone's figured out that like my Saturday afternoons spent trying to solve the mystery of Carter Hall have led me down the path to potentially plunging all of Earth into darkness and despair and death forever. No, I'm Batman, though. I'm an arrogant jackass, so I'm going to friggin' ride a dinosaur and get back home.
He's got to escape.
Yeah.
He's got to, you know.
Well, he doesn't have to. He shouldn't, but he will because he's an asshole. Because Batman's like, I'm an arrogant jerk.
I'm not going to trust my friends.
Nope,
Right.
nope. That's my whole MO. During the commotion of Red Tornado's outburst, Batman stole that shard that Kendra showed them all as a visual aid to explain nth metal.
Right.
It's because there isn't really any nth metal here anymore to use and study. I'll take that and use it in the Batcave to figure it out, which he does.
Okay. So he doesn't have any. Normally, you can't get nth metal.
No.
It's very rare. Okay.
Well, normally you could. You could just ask Hawkman to borrow his mace, but now
It's not made of bats, is it?
No.
He's looking through a microscope and it's all
It's just
Little bats.
little bat cells.
just bats all the way down.
Yeah, I mean it is bats all the way down, but not on a cellular level. So different characters who are connected to nth metal have premonitions of the future. Dr. Fate, because his helmet is made of nth metal or whatever, and one of the Metal Men and Plastic Man, who was another attempt to revitalize Plastic Man in the New 52 and didn't work out. So they just went, maybe he just went into an egg, and he's just been hiding.
An egg?
Yeah, like a little egg that looks like Plastic Man. And I have to assume that this is a reference to Dark Knight Strikes Again, in which literally that is the visual of Plastic Man. That Plastic Man is an egg that is under all this pressure to keep him locked up in Arkham in that Frank Miller story.
Yeah.
It could be an homage to that. It could also be one of those things where it's comedians copy each other's jokes, but not intentionally. They just were inspired by that joke. It could be
Right.
I have this visual of Plastic Man being in an egg and you seeing his logo and knowing that's him. I'll just use that.
I'm not really sure where it came from, but
I know for a fact that Snyder knows Frank Miller and is a fan of his work, so I have to assume it's a reference to that.
nice little callback.
Why a callback to Dark Knight Strikes Again is
maybe
beyond
he thinks
me.
it's criminally underrated.
Arguably, the sequence in which no.
I was going to say it's because the Dark Knight is striking again in this book.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
Isn't he
Barbascos.
always?
Yeah, Batman always strikes.
No, not that Dark Knight.
Oh.
The flip Dark Knight, the
Oh.
opposite Dark Universe.
No, Barbados isn't Batman's
thing.
opposite,
Yeah.
right? No, he's like a god.
he's a god.
Yeah.
Well, he's like a god.
Right.
He's not really a
He's
god.
like unto a god, but not.
Precisely. So Batman's checking this out, and he hears this humming coming from the house, and so he follows it into his study, where he finds the Bat logo illuminated in light, revealing the secret location of Carter Hall's journal.
It's wait, this isn't how the bat signal normally works.
Yeah, it's not a subatomic frequency that I only hear in my house that I have to go to a random room in my house to go find. No. So he goes into this room, the library, and he opens it up, this floorboard, and he finds the secret journal to Carter Hall, and he's like, oh man, this confirms all of my suspicions that I've been following throughout time.
He
Wait,
didn't know that the
know
journal
it was there?
No.
But he was studying the mystery of it?
Yeah,
How?
because he's Batman.
He
so
read other books about it, maybe.
he's been finding clues
Clues
to its
around the
mystery.
manor. That makes
Well,
sense.
no, and throughout his life. There's all kinds of things that
Oh.
happened or didn't because of continuity and crises that clued him into this greater mystery.
I see. But he never actually had the journal.
No,
until
he's
now.
now getting the journal, which will confirm his suspicions.
But now it's under his floorboards.
Well, he just picked it up. But
Like a beating heart.
Yes, like the Telltale Heart. Good call. So as he's leafing through the journal, he is visited by Dream of the Endless, a Neil Gaiman creation.
Yeah.
This incarnation of Dream unfortunately spoils some of Sandman, but suffice it to say, this version of Sandman / Dream is Daniel Hall, who was selected by Morpheus to replace him. And Daniel Hall is related to Carter Hall, Hawkman.
Really?
Yes, in fact, Daniel Hall is Carter Hall's grandson.
Okay.
Okay.
But not because it matters, just because Gaiman's like, ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
So Gaiman did that, so now...
So now, because Hawkman is the linchpin and we're dealing with legacies and stuff like that, and Snyder likes stories and Gaiman, he's like, I'm going to use that.
Okay.
What does Dream have to do with their reality?
Well, everything. Because they're all comic book characters, and so, they're influenced by story. And Dream and the Endless exist outside, but also are intrinsically connected to DC continuity.
Right.
And not like the New Gods, where it's like they are outside the multiverse, but for no reason New 52 rebooted them. In this, they're like literally outside of it, but also he's in the book, so he's not. And in key moments in Sandman, like characters from the DC universe will just be there.
So if
also Daniel Hall is literally the grandson of freaking Hawkman.
Yes, so he has to be.
Yes.
connected.
Yeah, he's part of this world.
Yes.
But now he's not.
If I look at the multiverse map,
Sandman at least comes from the Dreaming, which is its own realm, not an Earth. Realms are different.
okay.
So anyway, that wraps up that. So,
Got it.
So Superman and the Justice League get scrambled to go search the world for Batman.
He's home.
Well, he was home, until he bumped into Dream.
Oh, he was only there for like a minute.
Yeah, he was
That's
there
why I
for
can't
like
find him.
maybe an hour, and then he left.
Okay.
So then there's an entire sequence in which the Justice League scours the Earth for Batman, and Batman uses his Machiavellian skills to humiliate and destroy his friends and family so that he can plunge the Earth into darkness. Because he's an asshole moron who just needs to solve this mystery and can't for the life of him trust his friends.
I see.
But he trusts the Bat family.
Well, yeah, that's his family. Especially Damian.
Nothing's more important than family.
That's right.
So they're not your friends.
No.
So
Not the family that you choose.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing he was told something where it's like you have to do this.
It's more like a compulsion. Batman's obsessive, as you might be able to tell.
right.
So the Bat family is scrambled, and they all play vital roles where they're like impersonating Batman, or they're there's different Batman running around. At one point, Damian is driving like a truck through the swamp, and Superman just blasts with the truck and grabs Batman. And he's like, "Batman, what are you doing, man? You and I, look, okay, screw the Justice League. It's just you and me now. The world's finest team.
You could level with me.
We can figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, come on, brother, let's do this." And Batman's like, "Okay,
No.
I'll tell you what's going on at least. I'll level with you what's going on.
Okay.
I'm part of the prophecy to usher in Barbatos into the Earth and destroy everything, right? And part of the prophecy required me, the doorway, the wagon, to usher in Barbatos, to be exposed to several precious metals, all of which, in conjunction with Batman, will open a gateway for Barbatos to go through. And all those metals just happen to be invented by Scott Snyder throughout his Batman run. So it's like Electrium and Dionysium, and Promethium, which is an element that he used to activate his Batman machine that he... Okay, so in another story, when Batman lost his memories and everything,
I like this.
he goes back home eventually, and there's this machine that Batman built that utilizes Promethium, and this machine looks into the multiverse and it shows you like all other versions of Batman, dark alternate versions of Batman, so that like it kind of informs you that Batman can never end and never stops. And it's just basically like it was a deus ex machina for Snyder to have a clean slate Bruce Wayne step into the machine, and when he comes back out, he's Batman.
Is this
What? Why did
anything
he
like
do
this?
that?
Because his mind was
his
wiped
mind
from
was
the
wiped.
Dionysium. and
Right.
everything. Essentially, when he exposed himself to this machine and absorbed all this information, that exposed him to Promethium, which was another step in the right direction towards darkness. That machine, by the way, is also the thing that gave Batman a glimpse into the dark multiverse. Because the idea here is that, like, the multiverse is spawned when, like, an idea is made or a decision is made. You know how, like, that kind of, like, theory works?
You make a
Yes.
decision, and
like-
like it could be one way or the
Yeah,
other.
but that's not like this multiverse. 'cause
Where there's
this
only 52
multiverse
of
has
them.
specifically 52.
It's technically
That's
53, but yes.
whatever.
but, like-
it's not like an infinite number,
No.
which is what it would be.
But the idea
if-
here is that, like, the World Forger, normally, at the World Forge,
Yeah.
who forges worlds,
that World Forger.
that's the
Yeah.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, he has this great dragon that goes in and consumes the darker worlds, the worlds that the World Forger isn't going to build, or who builds because the ideas birth them into existence. They're all messed up.
Oh,
Right.
so
Yeah,
when
they're
he
the darker
creates
impulses.
a world, an opposite world is created because he
Yes.
decided not to create
Well,
that
no,
world.
it's more like when you think of something, like when Batman has a darker impulse, another dark world is created, and the energy from that is usually consumed and destroyed by Barbatos, the great dragon, and then goes back into the World Forge, so the World Forger can make like productive, healthy worlds. Like the idea is that the darker impulse worlds of the dark that make up the dark multiverse, those are. They shouldn't exist, and they're the fabric of their existence is more shaky because they shouldn't exist and because they're so dark.
Well, because they were eaten.
Well, usually.
And not only that,
But
but,
then eventually-
you have an evil world.
Yeah.
You have an evil Earth. How did that make it past the plan?
Oh, you mean Earth 3?
Maybe
yeah.
it's not dark
Don't worry,
enough.
that wasn't the dark multiverse though. That was
Yeah.
created from the something else, or from the World Forger was like that's okay. I'm gonna let.
Yeah,
that
it's
slide.
not that dark.
Maybe that's an example of why he shouldn't be doing it in the first place.
Well,
Who
yeah.
the hell knows?
Yeah.
The point is, Barbatos was sick of doing that, and so he knocked it off, and he became his own god, and the World Forge went kind of dim, and the fires are in threat of going out forever, so there will be nothing created. And Barbatos himself, because he stopped being the great dragon that consumes the dark worlds just kept piling up and created the dark multiverse. That's where Barbatos comes from. And then he, Barbatos, basically kind of became his own god and chose his own dragon, who continues to build and propagate more dark worlds.
I'm sorry,
for his
you're
dark multiverse.
telling me a dragon riding another dragon?
Well, no, Barbatos isn't really a dragon.
Oh.
Oh.
Like he acted as the dragon for the World Forger.
Oh. So if there's someone forging, there's always a dragon.
Right, always two there are. No more, no less. There's a great dragon and a forger.
Conceptually, it's very hard to
Dream will
absorb.
show Batman and Superman in the stars. That there's the there's the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor, the World Forger, and then Barbatos was the dragon, but then he usurped the World Forger, made his own dragon. That's Hawkman. Hawkman was taken and corrupted and made into the dragon of Barbatos.
Okay. So the dragon's like a title.
Yes.
Okay.
But there is a dragon though.
Damn it!
But that's,
I mean, that's cool.
But that dragon is really just more like a monster that Barbatos uses.
Okay.
And it also has Joker's face on it.
It's not... Okay, what?
Super metal.
Yes.
All right.
That's
Continue.
so Batman is talking to Superman and he's explaining to them everything about like the metals that he's been exposed to. Yeah. Oh, so that machine that like Batman peered into, what he didn't know is that it like those dark worlds of Batman are actually dark multiverses.
Right.
Like they're real.
Right. Oh.
And Wonder Woman's like, "Come on, Bruce, let's do it." And then Superman goes, "Oh," and he plunges his fist through Batman's chest and reveals that Batman is actually Clayface. Aha! It's the role of a lifetime.
Well, wait. So Bruce recruited Clayface to pretend to be him?
Clayface
Yes.
had already become a member of the Bat family by that point in
Oh.
James Tynion IV's Detective Comics run.
Okay.
So
I do remember that.
It all is connected.
Okay.
But if you don't know that, and
Yeah.
there's literally no editorial note to say like, this actually does make sense. So Kendrick goes to what essentially is like the Legion of Doom. It's just the Legion of Doom headquarters from the cartoon from Super Friends. We haven't established Snyder's like reconstitution of the Legion of Doom yet, so it's just kind of a fun visual. In reality, inside of this headquarters are these immortals, these like elders of Earth, these characters who have lived a really long time, like Vandal Savage and Ra's al Ghul and like Morgan Le Fay and stuff. It's just old people who like have been around for a long time and know all of this shit already and are aware of the darkness that is coming.
Oh, no.
Yes. And Kendra's a member of them because, like, she's technically Kendra Saunders. She's Hawkgirl. She's had 1,000 lifetimes. She's an honorary member. And so they're like, okay, Kendra, here's what we need to do. You need to take the astral brain of the Anti-Monitor, a character who originally was in Jeff Johns' Darkseid War and, like, died or whatever, but, like, let's not worry about that right now. Let's just be excited that we're referencing stuff from Crisis. And so the astral brain of the Anti-Monitor is used. And they're like, you will take the astral brain of the Anti-Monitor and you will take it to the Rock of Eternity, the base of the Wizard Shazam. And you will plunge it into it. And that will, hopefully, destroy the Dark Multiverse. Kendra Saunders wielding the astral brain of the Anti-Monitor is the nuclear option that our heroes don't want the authority figures to use.
Okay.
This is the ultimate nullifier option.
Yes, essentially. And I love it because they're like, Kendra, what do you think about Batman? Do you think he's going to win? And Ra's al Ghul goes, excuse me, I know that I'm the youngest among you, and so it's improper for me to speak. But I know the detective, and I know that he won't stop, and he's an obsessive asshole. So we should assume the worst. So Batman needs a number of items that he will use to get him to this point. At one point, he takes like a weapon that's forged from Wonder Woman, and he brings it to Talia, who gives him another dagger that's made of a special metal. Doesn't matter. The point is, Batman has now made it to the Valley of the Kings, where he has Baby Darkseid.
Oh yeah, Baby Darkseid.
Remember when Darkseid was turned into a baby, or died and then was reborn, and then
Yes.
became a baby? Yeah, Batman kidnapped Baby Darkseid.
From where? He found him wherever.
He took him from
took him.
wherever, because Batman's great at his job. And when he...
That has to be the worst daycare ever.
Oh, yeah.
Not because you lost a baby, just because like
It's
Baby
Darkseid.
is there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but you lost it to Batman. Like, that's gonna happen. If Batman's coming for your kid, like, no daycare can.
no.
Is
You might as well
Dream-
just give it to him.
Is Dream leading him on the jury, or is he trying to stop him?
Dream is communicating with Batman. He can't help one way or the other because he could solve the mystery and save the book. Like, Dream can't get involved because it's the same reason the Spectre doesn't get involved, or the
Right.
Phantom Stranger, or anybody else.
Or a Watcher.
Or Watcher,
It's
yeah.
not
like,
his role.
It's not his role. He's just like, listen, I can't speak to your plan. I've done what I can for you. Like, I've led you to where you need to go.
Right.
Like, I can neither confirm or deny.
So he wants Batman to keep going down this path.
No.
Of prophecy, or
I think it's like more
it's
like,
I just answer your question.
it's more like Dream just knows that he can't, that Batman won't be stopped.
Okay.
Because when he says because Batman keeps saying like, okay, Dream, I'm here. Is this the right way to go? And Dream's like, I can't confirm or deny, but the fact that I'm here and I never show up whenever you asked for me before suggests maybe I might be confirming that for you.
Right.
But I will say, if the Nightmare Army succeeds and the world goes dark, call to me in the place of Black Sun. Good luck. And Batman's like, wait, that does not sound like it's going to work.
Thanks, Gandalf.
Yeah.
Yeah, look
Sounds
to
like
me.
you're really
on the-
worried that that's probably what's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's going to happen.
Why doesn't Batman just stop then?
Because he can't stop. He's Batman.
Well, no, maybe if I stop and I go back, that's what causes the.
Well,
oh God!
Exactly.
I guess,
No,
yeah.
you-
If it's prophesied, maybe there's nothing he can do.
Right. He's like, I'm helpless. No, so Batman is about to. Batman breaks out Baby Darkseid, and Superman and Wonder Woman show up to intercept him, and they're like, "What are you doing?"
Right.
And he's like, "Okay, so
You
here's
didn't
my plan."
You
Stay
didn't
back.
tell us about the Baby Darkseid.
He's gonna be very grumpy if we wake him up from his nap.
I love it because he whips out Baby Darkseid. He's like, "Hey, stand back, or I'll use him." And they're like, "Pew pew pew!" And hey, look, Baby Darkseid's doing the horns.
God damn it!
Nice.
So
Okay,
Batman,
it's a baby. It doesn't know what it's doing.
no. That's why it's okay. That's why.
Is he gonna
yeah.
grab his mace and just kill Baby Darkseid with it?
No,
is that
he's
the key?
He's gonna wield the mace against Barbatos. His plan is he's going to have Baby Darkseid shoot him with the Omega Sanction again. And he's going to go back in time and stop Barbatos from seeing himself so that it doesn't cause all of this. He'll be trapped in the past, but at least it'll work out.
He'll be
I
trapped in the
see.
past until he's in the future.
No,
again.
that one will be trapped in the past. Like this Batman will be trapped in the past.
Right.
The other Batman will go back and close the loop.
Oh, okay. So he'll still travel through time, but
Yes.
without the interaction with
Barbatos. Yeah.
So then I guess he won't become Batman since he was apparently inspired by Barbatos.
Or he will.
No, he'll still
his
be
parents
Batman.
are still gonna die.
Okay.
Like he's still gonna be Batman.
He just won't have the other. Because
Right.
then how will he
No, exactly.
go
Have-
through all this to come back and do that if he's trying to stop this from happening?
Nth metal? It doesn't work, obviously, because
right.
it's not like this is gonna be a fun time travel adventure.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
the Flash isn't here.
So Batman is like, okay, so stand back. I'm gonna make the baby shoot me with his.
How
laser
are you
vision."
going to make the baby do that specific move?
Well, we don't need to answer that question because then they're intercepted by the Court of Owls.
What?
Yeah, the Court of Owls were also part of this conspiracy
Oh.
because Snyder invented this amazing villain, and no one after him did anything interesting with them again.
Right.
So he's like, all right, I'll bust out the Court of Owls. And the Court of Owls are like, we made a pact with Barbatos to lead you here. It's why, because, by the way, the Electrium that he absorbed by drinking the water in the Court of Owls fountain in
Yeah.
their labyrinth. So it's like, no, we exposed you to that deliberately. Like, we set up all these things. We coordinated this whole thing so that you could be,
Did they
the portal for Barbatos.
So did they plan to lose the battle with Batman in Court of Owls?
Right?
Because
Did
they
they?
did.
Are,
I don't
Was that
think
all
so.
part of the plan? Or?
Yes. because there's still more of them.
They just made a deal with Barbatos, right? They're not like Barbatos worshippers.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I
They
mean,
they kind of worship Barbatos, but they're also more like they're both.
Because if they worship Barbatos, why are they owls?
Right. Well, because there are 3 great tribes 50,000 years ago: the wolf, the bear, the bird, and also the secret horror tribe called the bat. And so, like,
4.
they're represented. Yeah, but the bat doesn't really technically count. It's like out there.
Oh.
So it's
It's like an outcast.
But like the birds,
you don't get to be a pact. But
Yeah.
they're like, well, no, we're gonna be a bat pact. Fuck you.
right. Well, it's inspired by Barbados, so like they're evil or whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, so Batman gets drenched in Batmanium, and he becomes the portal.
What?
Okay.
So
I'm sorry.
yeah.
Batman becomes the portal.
Yeah, because he
Yeah,
has.
I told you, he was
touched
the
all
portal.
the other metals, and now you add the
Manium.
Batmanium, and
So
that
now
completes the
that completes the prophecy.
potion or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Who set this up? Barbados.
Barbados set it up with
for this to happen. or-
Yeah, well, Barbados needed it all to happen, and so he manipulated characters and events
Okay.
retroactively that allowed them to set up events so that we reached to this point.
Okay.
So Batman becomes a portal, and and it's great because the Court of Owls is like, "Yay, hail Barbados! Here he comes! We're totally gonna get what we deserve."
Yeah. Right.
And
what do they think is gonna happen?
I think
they're gonna like rule when
Right?
Barbados like takes
What do they
over?
ever think is gonna happen? Like, what does every cliche dupe character think
Who
is
raises
gonna-
a demon or whatever.
right? Or makes a deal with the higher evil guy?
No,
Yeah.
no, I'm cool.
Yeah,
Right?
they're cool
Like,
with me. They're gonna be
usually-
bored if they're all by themselves ruling.
Usually it's that like they think it's inevitable, and so therefore if they help,
literally-
at least they will be protected and not
yes,
killed.
that's right.
Or if they worship them.
They say
Or that.
one of them says Snyder is anticipating your criticism, and so he says he makes one of the Court of Owls members say, "We shall rule with him."
right.
And of course, then
By way of explanation of why they would do this insane
stupid thing that
Yeah.
would never benefit them.
Right.
So then 3 twisted, evil, vampiric-looking Robins jump out of the portal and rip them apart
Sweet.
with their gnarled teeth and their razor
How
claws.
can you tell they're Robin? Oh, because they have the mask.
Because they're wearing Robin costumes. And Bruce is gone,
Right.
right?
Right. He became a portal.
He became a portal. And
Was there still a portal?
yes.
They come through? Okay,
Yes,
so
there's
it's
still a
permanently
portal.
there,
Uh-huh.
and he's not. Okay.
Right. So Superman and Wonder Woman are like, Bruce, where is he? And a twisted voice comes from beyond that says, "Oh, you want Bruce Wayne? I'm right here." And you see these awesome action figures that will be available from DC Collectibles very soon. And Barbatos. And it's like, these are all representatives of the Dark Multiverse Batman characters, the Dark Batman.
Right.
And
That
they're all
looks like Doomsday. Is that Barbados?
no. Barbatos is this guy.
Oh, okay.
And of course, like led by all of them is the Batman Who Laughs, who is like a Joker or Cenobite Batman. And the Batman Who Laughs wields his 3 Stygian Robins.
So Joker is the replacement Batman?
No. Batman becomes a Joker.
He's a Joker.
His origin is that essentially wired in with Joker's central nervous system is a gas that when he is murdered will create a new Joker. That it's Joker's final punchline for Batman. He knows one day he's going to push Batman to kill him, and when he does, he himself will become the Joker. And so in this dark mirror reality version of Batman kills the Joker for crossing a line, and then he is exposed to the gas, and he becomes the Batman Who Laughs. And his Batman is this like Cenobite Joker-looking Batman who literally destroys his entire world. He's also
Gotcha.
Barbatos' favorite version of Bruce Wayne, and is basically his right hand.
Okay. And does this
All right.
happen in the mirror version of our universe in the Dark Multiverse?
It happens
or is it
in
the
one of
mirrored
them.
Of a different.
It's one of the Dark Multiverse.
one of the
Batmans.
okay.
And all of them come from one.
Interesting. Okay, so he's collected.
Yes, Barbatos has collected 6 or 7 awesome-looking Batman action figures to use to implement his nefarious deeds that will plunge the Earth into darkness.
I see, but they also are analogs for other characters in the Justice League.
Yes, so that it's cool looking.
I see. Okay,
That's it.
got it.
There they are. Fun element to the Robins is The only thing they're capable of saying is crow. They're like, crow, crow, crow. But the safe word to get them to come back is bar.
Ew.
Get it?
Yikes.
Yep.
So Superman and Wonder Woman are then, I don't know,
Electrified
with dark energy from Barbatos. And they're like, we'll beat you. We've beaten gods before. And Barbatos is like, not like me. Burn. And like basically turns them into skeletal corpses and then takes them away. They don't die, by the way.
Right.
It's just for that one cool moment. So then we cut to Smallville.
What?
And,
Yeah. Whoa.
and Damian and Jonathan Kent, Superman's son, are in a band. And they're playing for Bruce and Lois and Selena and, and Clark and everybody. The family's getting together and they're watching their kids play and they're playing na 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 Batman. They're friggin' but like a metal version of it.
Right.
Okay.
And they're just having an awesome time. And Batman, Bruce Wayne, is like, hey, listen, we had a crazy adventure trying to defeat Barbatos, and I just want you to know that like after we did, I learned a real valuable lesson about like family and trusting my friends, and I'm really glad that. And then he notices that like his chest is bleeding, the shape of a bat, and he's like, oh. And then Barbatos just blasts out of him and grabs Clark. And Clark's like, no, we beat you. And he's like, yeah, this time I've been making you live your life constantly beating me in different ways. And then flipping the script on you and revealing that actually you haven't won at all. Ha ha ha.
So he's creating like a dream world or whatever.
Yes. Essentially, he is, yeah.
It's like hell.
And then Superman is awoken by Wonder Woman, who straps his wrist with the lasso of truth, and she frees him, and it's clear that he has been attached to like this great battery in the middle of Metropolis.
Oh, like the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. And so they fly over the city, and they notice that like all of Metropolis has been turned into doomsdays. The idea here being that like in one alternate dark multiverse version of history, in the New 52, Superman gets the Doomsday virus and becomes like a Doomsday.
Yeah.
Batman weaponizes it, and everyone becomes Doomsdays. Essentially so that no one can be hurt or destroyed.
Okay.
And this is also convenient because then neither Lois nor Jonathan nor Perry can be killed during this craziness.
Because they're Doomsday.
Because they're Doomsdays.
And then
Oh my
presumably
God.
they'll be converted back into not Doomsdays.
Yes. So Superman just asks Wonder Woman where Barbatos is so he can just punch him in the face. And so he like super flies over there to get to him. That's when he reveals that like he has these Joker dragons, and Barbatos just kind of like sitting there just having a good time, and he's like, the road led you to me, and of course, as you know, all roads lead to darkness. And so then Superman encounters Batman in the sky, and he's like, Batman, what's going on? And then it's the Doomsday version of Batman who punches him in the face. And he's like, lol. And so Superman is essentially like just being beaten savagely by all these different Batmen.
Yeah.
And it's looking grim.
Yeah.
Dr. Fate opens a portal, Flash runs in, he grabs Superman, and he leaves.
Okay.
And they go to the Oblivion Bar, which is in a pocket dimension where like magic people hang out.
Okay.
It's usually a place where like no one can get to.
Right. They're safe.
They're safe
from
for a
the
second.
Madness happening.
Did they leave Wonder Woman behind?
Superman left Wonder Woman behind.
Yeah.
He bailed on her to go punch Barbatos.
Right. It's like, I'll take care of this because I'm Superman.
Right.
Right.
So now he's in the Oblivion Bar, and he's with like a few of the members of the characters of the Justice League.
Yeah.
Including Nightmaster.
Yeah, good old Nightmaster.
The barkeep.
Yeah, he is the barkeep. One of the purveyors of the Oblivion Bar, of course, is also Bobo the Chimp, Detective Chimp. You may know him as well
No.
from Justice League Dark. So they're all hanging out, and they're like, "What are we gonna do?" And God, Nightwing shows up, and he's dressed like Jon Snow. And they're like, for more on Jon Snow Nightwing, read Dark Knight's Metal the Resistance.
What?
Lol.
They call him Jon Snow Dark
Yeah,
or
Nightwing.
Nightwing?
Yeah,
Because he's wearing armor.
because he looks like Jon Snow, right?
Right, and because that
'Cause
show
that's
is
a
popular
timely
at this
reference.
time.
Yeah, that won't date the book in any way.
Oh, wow.
It's not just a cool image of Nightwing. It's a deliberate, outright reference to a cultural touchstone.
Jon Snow. Jon Snow in DC continuity, of course.
Oh yeah, no.
We'll just look it up within DC's
Yeah.
encyclopedia.
Oh, there isn't one. But in a tie-in, Nightwing is like leading the resistance of like people who have not been
Right. If you
killed
want to
or
know what's
transformed.
happening in the real
Outside. If
world.
you want to find out what's happening not in the main event, you can go pick up the Resistance.
Right. Okay.
So essentially, the team is like, okay, we all need to go. The only thing that can hurt these Dark Knights is nth metal, because it's made of a special metal that's like anti their shit, right?
And let me guess, we're gonna suddenly realize that nth metal is like riddled throughout all of DC's history.
Of course
it's
it is.
everywhere.
Well, it has been, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, and
it's been mentioned.
yes, it was mentioned forever, and it's also like intrinsically attached to like characters and societies. It's at the lowest oceans and the furthest away planets, and so they form teams, and they all leave to go get these
various
metals.
places.
And
it's going to take you to places that you remember where it was referenced.
yeah,
Yeah.
or not,
Or,
just
or new places.
Yeah,
that
like
it
oh
never
my
came up
god,
before.
what?
Yeah.
there was nth metal here.
Yeah.
This
okay.
is nth metal.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And as they're planning, a couple of Robins pop up and
no.
attack them, and they're like, "Oh shit!" Like,
So they got to the bar.
yeah, they can get in.
Right. It's harder, but eventually they got in.
Well,
They
like,
use really good fake IDs.
yes. The idea here is, there is no safe place.
Right.
There is no safety. We can't just like bring, I don't know, what's the maximum capacity here? 72? 72 people?
I'm the fire marshal. It's supposed to be 45.
Well, great.
27 of you are gonna have to leave and die.
And then Robin comes in and he's like, I'm the fire marshal and it's 0.
Oh no! And Nightmaster stays behind to fight them and is obviously killed with his own sword.
Oh,
So,
I thought Nightmaster was just like, party's over, guys. I gotta clean up.
y'all get out of
Closing
here.
up shop.
He's pretty cool.
Don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Yeah. So they all go to different places, you know?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Superman is like, I have to go into the Dark Multiverse and get Batman back.
Right.
Because he's the key to all this. We need Batman.
Sure.
Even though, like, I shouldn't
So
trust him
he
in any way.
went into the Dark Universe. So, like, he became the
Well,
portal, but then he got
to
transported
go. He had
over.
to go somewhere.
It's
Yeah.
not like
so-
he's still the portal.
Right, no, it's not just, I'm a hole! Close me!
That would be unfortunate.
It would. It's more unfortunate because he's strapped to a battery and he's lived 1,000 lifetimes and he's an old man, but it's still pretty rough.
Okay.
So Superman and Barry go to a secret location in the Fortress of Solitude that Batman asked Superman to build for him and also not ask any questions about what was inside of it. This is all established earlier. Where Batman stuck the engine that they built in Infinite Crisis to rebuild the multiverse that Batman somehow moved that whole thing into.
You know, piece by piece.
Yeah, right. He had like independent contractors all working on different elements of it. But the point is, now this like this tower is like teeming with dark energy, and it's essentially an antenna that they can use to find the dark multiverse and then use to get there. So Superman like runs into it and goes there. The reason why Superman is hell-bent on doing it in the first place is because in the dream that he had with Damian and John playing notes,
Yeah.
is that the notes they were playing that Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman worked out so that if they're ever anywhere in the multiverse, they can play these notes, and that will be like their SOS or their signature to say like, this is where I am, come get me.
And it's the Batman song.
Naturally.
Well, so what does that mean? What does NA correspond to?
NANA doesn't mean anything. It's the na 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 na.
Yeah,
Is
it's those
Is it just
keys.
like, it means I'm somewhere and I'm alive?
Yes.
You hear that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's coming from me.
Yeah.
So
By
that's
the
how
way-
he knows that Batman's still somewhere.
Exactly.
And it's certainly not the fact that he was just dreaming it.
No, well,
No, I would never dream that.
it was very
Even though I know
specific.
what it was.
By the
and
way,
could
the-
easily dream it, because you could dream anything
Anything.
that you have
But
known
we've
or
already
seen.
established that Dream is a part of this story, and so
Right.
maybe he helped. Superman has no reason to think that, but let's just move on. So Superman goes to the Dark Multiverse, and he's immediately attacked and attached to the battery. It was all a ruse, and Batman was like there too, and he's like, "Why? Why,
would
Clark?
you
Why
come
did you
here?"
come here?" He's like, "You called me," and he goes, "No." The play, like the notes that we play, because it's all like the notes that they play are their initials. You know, like like B, C, and D, Bruce, Diana, Clark, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Bruce, Clark, Diana, and
Fortunately, they all have initials that happen to be
to correspond with
notes.
notes and this, metal.
Right, music. Yeah.
But the chord.
I wasn't saying Bruce Diana Clark. I was saying Barry Diana Clark.
Yes.
You
Don't
should have known
come-
Barry. He's
Yeah.
B flat.
No, essentially the point is like the keys that Damian and John were playing in the dream that Batman somehow incepted were the reverse of the code, as if to say, "Don't come here." Like, how about just don't use the code, you asshole?
Why would you come here? I said, don't come here. If you read it backwards, which of course is how you were supposed to, because everything's topsy-turvy.
Bingo!
Well, not even topsy-turvy. It's the whole point of the fact that, like, it doesn't matter what you start with. It's the same chord progression. If you start up top and go backwards, it becomes the thing you need yours to.
So now that Superman is attached to the battery, they can use his untold energy to actually plunge Earth Prime into the dark multiverse and undo everything, or make everything horrible.
Right, like permanently.
Yeah.
So it was their plan to get Superman there.
Yes. It was all a ruse to lure Superman. And Batman's influence was like the inverse of the code. That's all he could do.
And now we have all these Batmen?
Yeah, well, they're Supermen.
Supermen,
These
I'm
are
sorry.
dark Supermen. Because all the dark all
Well,
the
yeah,
ones-
there's dark everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I love it because like one of them is Superman killed Lex Luthor and took his power suit. Another one is from a dark version of Dark Knight Returns where Superman kills Batman and then becomes Batman. So he's got like his Dark Knight Returns armor.
And then one is just electric blue Superman.
Yeah, because that sucks.
That's literally it.
The dark Superman frees Batman and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna mess you up," and Batman's like, "Oh yeah, well, I have all these different kryptonites in my belt, and I'm gonna make a
Brass knuckles?
like a brass knuckles of them. Odds are one of them will hurt one of you, you know." So he just starts punching them, and then he goes and grabs Superman, and he frees them, and he's like, "Oh crap! This is it. This is the Black Sun. There's no darkness here. Hey, Dream, come get me!" And so Dream grabs Batman and Superman and absconds with them.
There, I did something.
You're welcome.
Here, you called to me in your time of need.
Yeah.
Why?
So Superman and Batman
Why
have
is
the main
Batman
plot.
old?
Because he's been like living there for like many years.
Or
So
he
when
just got
Superman gets
sucked
there,
on the
he's
battery.
going into the future of the multiverse or in dark multiverse.
No, he was attached to the life-sucking battery. It sucks his
It
life.
aged
Yeah,
him
no, but they also make a point of saying that
That he actually lived all
he's
that
lived
time.
all that time too. But like, yeah, no, let's just say it's the battery because that makes more sense. And also, since it's magic anyway, he can magically not be old again at the end of the story.
Instead
Right.
of living that life and not then unliving it.
Right.
Okay.
So there's the A plot, which is Superman and Batman and Dream and like the World Forge and crap.
Yeah.
And there's like the B and C plots, which is like Deathstroke and Aquaman go to the lowest ocean and they find like a secret lair where they can get like some nth metal or whatever. Mr. Terrific and Green Lantern go to the stars and they go to they go to Thanagar Prime, which was like secretly unknown to people, and then they get there and they're like, "Oh, it's here," and it's being ruled by some asshole and Starro.
Oh yeah, Starro.
Yeah, this the mind controlling starfish.
And they're just like, we've got all the nth metal.
Right. Well, they should, but they don't, and also like they're assholes and they like throw them under arrest. And Wonder Woman and Kendra and Dr. Fate like team up because like Kendra and Wonder Woman are like sisters and they gotta figure this out together. So they do. So anyway, that's what's happening.
Okay.
And you know they're all on their own journeys to get the nth metal.
So we've seen Barbatos.
Yep.
We've seen his Joker dragons.
Yes.
We've
Yeah.
seen the metal Batmen.
Yes, the Dark Batman. Mhm.
Yeah. But we still haven't seen Carter Hall.
No, we haven't seen him yet. But I've already buried the lead and told you that he's the Great Dragon of Barbados, so we'll
Right.
see him at the end.
Okay,
Well,
so-
they got to get to the World Forge first.
I just want to make
We
sure,
haven't
like,
even, we haven't even
he's in
touched
a
the World
story.
Forge.
He is in the story.
Yeah,
this-
he's the key to all of this or whatever.
Yeah. It's really more Kendra's the key to all this, but
Oh.
yeah, but he's important
But
too.
Batman was looking for his book.
Right.
And that.
And that
And it was
book-
like it was
Carter
important.
Hall's book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Aminar Sin took over Thanagar, and he like used the nth metal to create like this cannon that he's like got trained on Earth, and he's like, if I blow up Earth with this cannon, maybe that'll stop this whole madness from happening. And that's my plan. I'm just gonna kill all of you
Right.
over there.
Because the whole galaxy
Galaxy
is
is-
in trouble from.
Yeah.
Like right now it's just Earth. But
Right, but you know, and originally O was the center of the universe, but Jeff Johns retconned in Blackest Night that actually Earth is.
Yeah.
Which it really should be anyway.
Right.
So you know, fine.
We're gonna write all these books
Yeah,
about it.
Jeff,
It'd be really
back
weird
off.
if it wasn't.
No, I
Don't
like.
take this away from us.
What are you talking about? I'm saying that he did that. He fixed it.
Oh, he made Earth the center of it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I take that back. Good job,
A long
Jeff.
time ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago. So Green Lantern would just make quick work of these guys, but Starro's infecting his head, and he's basically made it so that he can't form two cohesive thoughts.
So he can't form any constructs because
he can't concentrate.
Right. Okay.
And he's like, "Oh, you kidding me? I'll just make a." What was he talking about? Which is pretty great.
Yeah, that's cool.
So then, out of the darkness, Superman and Batman are essentially reconstituted and meet up with Dream. And then he's like, "This is Lucien's library. It's a realm where it's all stories that haven't been finished yet."
Okay.
Which is an actual thing,
including the one you're reading.
Yeah. I guess that would be on there. And if
Can we see what's happening in our story right now? Oh, we're in Lucien's library. Oh, we're talking about it.
Oh, damn it.
Oh, this is really boring.
This is that Spaceballs bit. But what they've discovered is that, like, thanks to Barbatos, they end up in another area of the library, and in that area of Lucien's library, these are stories that shouldn't be told. These are the horrors of the multiverse, and because of that, the library itself is starting to burn. And if Lucien's library burns down, there will be no stories left.
When did this become a never-ending storybook?
Because Snyder's a big Neil Gaiman fan and wants to put that in there.
Yeah.
Let's talk about story now. He's a writer. I get it.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be told they're the adult section.
Oh, yeah, it's behind a little velvet curtain. Oh, don't go in there. It's more messed up than you think.
You think you want to go there, but
Trust me,
if
you
you
don't.
get there, you really are going to regret it.
So he's like,
Everyone thinks they want to go there.
Everybody thinks they want to go in there.
Everyone's wrong.
So
Never once has someone gone back there and told me, like,
those
thank
were
God I
things.
went back there.
It is a boner killer, my friend.
So Superman and Batman are like, okay, we're in the dreaming. We're in a special library. It's floating in nothingness. You got books here written by, like, writers who are asleep who have never written that book. Why don't you just step in and write a story about how we win and just kick his ass?
Good question.
He's like, oh, good question. Anyway, I can't, but I will do something for you.
But I will let you.
Yeah. No, he goes, I can help you in this way. And it's like, I know what you're gonna say. I'm gonna tell you a story. And they're like, oh Christ. And so he tells you,
dream is my thing.
yeah. So he tells you the story about how, like, there's the Anti-Monitor, the World Forger, the Dragon. Dragon being Barbatos. It should have killed all of those dark worlds and then sent their energy back into the Forge so that the Forge can actually make something worth a damn.
Right.
But it didn't, and he was an asshole. And then he fucking made Batman and stuff. And so now they gotta
The
stop
answer is
him.
don't trust dragons.
Right. So they're like, in order for you to make more nth metal, you need to go to the Forge, the World Forge, and, like, make all the shit you need. And they're like, okay. And he's like, yeah, but you need to go there, like, quick, because, like, otherwise, if the fires go out in the World Forge, there will be nothing new. There'll be no new ideas, and worse yet, there'll be no stories left.
I'm sorry, you're telling me the World Forge also creates new stories?
Yeah, I'm affected by the World Forge, this thing that Scott Snyder made up. That sucks, but it is here now, so let's just move on. So they're like, okay, let's go. He goes, okay, so in order for you to pass into the World Forge, in order for you to get to this place, the heart of creation itself, you have to hope. You must have hope in your heart. And this is why Batman went through all this experience, because now he's like, I have none. I'm bereft of hope. I have nothing left. They've drained me of everything. I can't believe in anything. And Superman's like, oh, God damn it, Bruce, come on, get over yourself. There's something left. And Batman's like, oh, that's right, I have a biological child. Damian,
Right.
the biggest asshole of the Robins.
No!
I mean,
You
it is-
hope
it
your
is
hope
his
is
son.
Superman. He's right in front of you.
No,
He's your
I have a
friend.
son.
Oh,
He's the
fuck.
future. I'm a dad. I'm writing this story. Obviously, my son's the future.
Yeah.
Obviously, my son's my hope.
Right.
So, like,
For any father would understand.
yeah, if you had a child, then you would understand.
And of course, Clark
you have a
understands. He's
child-
got Jonathan.
Yeah, that's why Superman's like, yeah, let's just go. Obviously, I have a kid. I'm happy.
Right.
And it couldn't possibly be that, like, Batman has, like, adopted sons.
You know,
No,
like he would.
only his actual son
Yeah.
can give him
Right.
hope.
It could have been that the Batman's like, right, family. Family is my hope.
Yeah, and I got a
And
huge family.
And as it turns out, like, I'm actually overwhelmed by family.
Yeah.
No.
Not only the
my
Bat
I
house-
never
family-
give up
Nope,
on me, no
I-
matter how
Justice League.
horrible I am to them.
Like, look at you! I literally have a thing. I have a gemstone in my belt that could kill you right now, and you're trying to get me to.
Used it.
But no, let's go. I have a son. Jump in. So they do. So Wonder Woman and Dr. Fate and Kendra go to the Rock of Eternity, where they're hoping to get some nth metal. And when they get there, Kendra's like, "Screw it, I'm gonna throw the brain into the thing, into the thing." Because they told me I gotta do
Wait,
it.
she has the brain with her? I thought this was like a joke.
No.
Like some weird concept.
Well, it is an ethereal concept, but also she literally has it in her hands. So she is like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna throw the brain into the thing," and they're like,
We're still working on this thing.
Yeah, we're literally that. She's like, "That's Plan B for you, okay? Like Plan B, and Plan B sucks. Like we couldn't even literally use the bathroom at the Oblivion Bar before those Robins came in and tore shit up. Like I'm chucking the brain in."
What made her decide right now, though?
Because Kendra doesn't
It's
have
there?
hope.
Right.
It's there.
She's been thinking about it. She's like, no, you know what? No, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to put the brain in the thing.
Or she's manipulating them. She's like, yeah, no, let's go. Let's go to the Rock of Eternity. That's probably choked to that metal.
Right. That's what she was trying to get the whole time.
Exactly.
I see.
She's like, later.
That was her
I love her
plan.
face. I'm going to do it. I'm going to throw it right in the freaking thing. It's going to happen.
What?
Don't make me fucking...
What does that even mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah. So she's about to do it.
They don't know, right? Wonder Woman doesn't know about the brain going in
No,
the
she doesn't have
thing.
a plan. But they are like, but she pieces together faster than I would have. Where she's like, well, you have the antibody to his brain, but if you throw it in there,
that'll do something bad. I don't know. It sounds serious.
Just don't do it, okay?
Right.
So she's like, I'm gonna
Where'd
do
you
it.
even get the antibiotics brain?
Yeah. What? So she's like,
Where
no.
have you been keeping that?
Well, I guess it's a secret
Right?
plan.
Is
She
it in
didn't
your
tell them
pouch?
about, so it's not good.
No, and it can't be good. So then she's like, I'm gonna do it. Here we go. Oh! And then her back explodes and wings blast out, and she becomes Lady Blackhawk, which is her moniker from the Blackhawks. But now she's like literally a Lady Black Hawk. Like all of the...
Like a bird person.
She's a bird person. And it's been a challenging mating season for her. So,
Especially looking like that.
I mean, like
Jesus.
essentially her like proximity. I mean,
All right, we found each
She is a little sharp.
it ain't her skin, you know.
Yeah.
It's got to come off.
Yeah, there's something under there, I assume.
Right? We saw what's under
Like a
there.
helmet,
She's
yeah.
cute.
Okay, the wings burst out of her. That was blood and
They're
viscera.
like metaphorical.
They're metaphorical.
Wait, was this her plan?
Did she get infected by the dark
Or the brain?
flip universe?
So anyway, now she's Lady
Okay.
Blackhawk, and they're like, oh crap. And Dr. Fate's like, well, time to bail. And right before he does, Black Adam shows up, and he's like, ha-ha, kabam, lightning.
Oh.
We didn't expect Kendra to win, and so we made a deal with Barbados. And we didn't see the Court of Owls get assassinated when they made their own deal with Barbados, so we think it's going to be pretty cool.
So wait, so the timeless characters and
Yeah.
the old characters, they
Uh-huh.
were all actually like...
Well, no, they were part of it. They were like, yeah, don't chuck the brain in there. She's probably going to die. We should probably make a deal. So they do.
And now Dr. Fate is
just fickle.
incinerated.
Yeah, he's done.
Oh.
Wow. Well, at least his helmet's up for grabs.
Right? We can still use that. Wonder Woman's got to fight Black Adam, and
Yeah.
I guess Lady Blackhawk, and so Superman and Batman end up at the World Forge, and it's gone dark. It's too late.
Oh, it's too late.
Oh no.
But we have hope.
Yeah, I had hope. You said
You said if I had hope, and Dream's like, yeah, but I thought you'd have hope like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, you should have had hope a little faster.
Wait, how long does it take to forge Earth metal? Oh, like a millennia.
Aeons, I don't know. Or nothing.
Why did it go dark? Why was it going to go dark? Because
There's not enough energy because the dark multiverse keeps propagating. The energy that's used and consumed by the dragon to destroy those dark multiverses
Okay,
that shouldn't exist, yeah, they aren't going into the forge, so the forge is going dark.
So the dragon stopped eating the dark worlds, and that's
And
Okay.
Carter Hall, the dragon, isn't making anything else, so there's nothing left
So
here.
what is he doing? He's just sitting around?
Yeah, with a big hammer just waiting. He's going to fight Batman and Superman.
Oh. I guess he's there to make sure they don't
Yeah,
start it up again.
right, because he's
or whatever.
corrupted and he doesn't know he's Carter Hall. He doesn't know
Right.
he's a superhero.
No,
Okay.
Carter, this is a bad bird. You're a bad person.
You're a bad bird person.
Damn
So-
you.
I guess he's like the opposite of the other dragon, which did
Yeah.
something
Right.
that is eat the world.
Yes,
He does
nothing.
nothing, and therefore
Yeah.
the forge goes
And
dark.
if we were gonna have like fun with this book, like if it was like, yeah, like who cares? Like if he was really gonna just be like a lazy asshole, like then Hawkman. I mean, like the options are he could either look like the drawing on the side of a van, or he could look like most people I know who are into metal, which is he's like 30 pounds overweight and he's just sitting in a big chair, like in a beanbag chair, just knocking him back.
Right.
He's like, I'm
That'd be
not
sweet.
making worlds. Burp.
Oh, he's Thor.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be great. He's the Thor that lost hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Sweet. He have like piercings all over
Right.
and stuff.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a dragon right over here. It goes around my arm.
It's the dragon that does nothing like me.
Yeah. But like me, it also has massive tits. You're like, that'd be kind of fun. Instead, I mean, like, listen,
That is what you
he's
would
pretty
think.
dope.
Yeah, he looks cool. He's
But
a big hawk with fire.
Yeah,
and
I love it too.
metal.
He's got crazy hands.
Batman and Superman face the end of everything because the World Forge has gone dark, and Superman's like, this can't be how it ends. And Batman's musing about Carter Hall's journal, and Dream says, then a booming voice came from behind them. Like he's telling the story. Like we're reading the story. And that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like, listen, when you're reading the book, it's pretty fun, and I'm enjoying it. Don't take this.
When you stop to think about it.
When you're trying to explain the goddamn thing, that it becomes,
doesn't
and that's
really
what people
work.
hate the show, because they're like, well, I read the book and I had an awesome time, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, try explain it to your dad. So
Right. You have to literally experience it to appreciate it.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I mean, it's just fun, but I mean, we're having a good time.
Yeah.
So
It's just confusing as all.
yeah,
It's just
and-
weird.
And if you ask any questions, then it becomes like problematic.
Well, especially considering the fact that it's supposed to be
all starts
steeped
to
in
come
continuity,
But also
like,
that
there
continuity
is no
was unmade.
continuity and
Yeah.
just gets tossed out.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's like every other crisis in that respect.
Yeah,
Even though it's not a
except-
crisis.
Right.
But like Final Crisis was as fucking bizarre.
Yes. And it had something to say about like the comic book industry.
Yes.
So
This is talking about stories.
exactly.
Yeah.
But only a
metal.
little bit.
Yeah.
So Carter's like
Final
swinging
Crisis
his
light.
hammer. He's trying to hit them, and every time he hits them, like he creates like a play. Like he tries to hit them. They jump out of the way. It creates like Crime Alley.
Oh.
And like when it swings at Superman, tries to hit him, it creates the front lawn of his farm.
So Carter Hall is now creating stuff?
Kind of, but it's
Yeah,
like
incidentally or.
right.
Yeah.
And then like a doorway opens as he like crashes through it, and like bad guys come out like Killer Croc and Two-Face and stuff like that.
It's like a fucking video game level.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like.
And then he's spawning more like smaller things that you can fight.
Well, Temple Guardians you fought throughout the game.
Yeah. Then
Uh-huh.
they come back and they look a little different.
Exactly.
But not only that, but like you have to dodge the big guy.
Yeah.
Fight
And
the small guy.
also you have to
Jump
dodge
over
a
it.
Huge attack.
Yeah, well, he hits the hammer, and then his hammer gets stuck in the ground for a little bit, so you can run up the hilt,
Yeah.
and then you can punch him with your energy blast.
Oh, I assumed the holes he was making would eventually be his undoing. Like he'd fall.
he
Oh,
falls
he'd
through.
fall through
Yeah,
it?
he's Bowser.
Yeah.
Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific are stuck in jail, and
Oh yeah.
they-
And on that planet with the cannon.
yeah, Thanagar.
Thanagar, yeah.
So they get met by one of the Thanagarians who's like, "Hey guys, are you guys in trouble? What's going on?" And they're
Hey,
like,
why are you guys in jail?
yeah, and they're like, "What?" And then he's like, "Whoa, blah, I'm actually Martian Manhunter. Oh, Martian Manhunter's back!" And everyone's like, "Yay!" Even though we don't buy his book, we're really excited to see him in this comic. Hooray!
I just like that he's around.
Listen, I don't want to read his adventures, but but I'd be really mad if he wasn't there.
I want to know
I
he's
am
there.
sick to death of reading about Chacos.
But I remember him, and therefore he needs to be there.
Right. But I'll be damned if I spend $3.99 on a book starring him.
Because he's stupid and lame.
But
he happened.
But you won't catch me saying it out loud.
Yeah.
Breaks Star's control, and he's like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna make so many constructs that are gonna whoop this starfish's ass." And Mr. Terrific is like, "Technically, I'm from Earth too, and why am I even here?" But mostly he says like, "Starfish don't have asses," and you're like, "Shut
What?
up."
Get out of
Not even
here.
Close to funny.
This is why you're not on the Justice League.
This is why we only call you for information, jackass. You're the 411 of the Justice League. That's right. You're old. You're obsolete.
Yeah.
You're redundant.
Ooh.
The internet exists, Mr. Terrific. We don't need you anymore.
Ouch.
Carter's like got them on the ropes. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hit you with my hammer." And and Batman is like, "Your name is Carter Hall. You are a superhero. Other hopeful, inspiring things." And while he's yelling at Carter and giving him pause, Superman's like, look, Bruce, in the forge, there's a glimmer. There's a spark, if you will.
Yeah.
Oh.
It wasn't probably
Okay.
dead, or like they're creating it.
Yeah, or their hope created a spark of fire within the forge.
Your name is Carter Hall, and unfortunately you don't have any children, so you have no reason to hope.
But I do, and I'm going to hope for the both of us.
So meanwhile, at the Rock of Eternity, they were looking for Carter Hall's mace, because that's made of nth metal.
Right.
The whole
and,
thing.
And they need nth metal. That's
Yeah.
right.
So,
yeah. What are they going to do with the nth metal?
It hurts them.
It hurts the dark.
So Black Adam's been
characters.
throwing Wonder Woman through walls, and one of them happened to conceal the mace. She's like, "Oh, there it is."
Oh.
It could be evocative of that moment in For the Man Who Knows Everything when Mongo's throwing Wonder Woman through the fortress and she gets the weapons.
Yeah.
I assume it is. It's kind of cool. Hey, continuity.
Not continuity.
callback.
Callback.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman grabs the mace. She hits Black Adam in the face, knocks him out. She's like, ooh.
It works.
It works. And also, Black Adam.
Oh, no, he's from our world.
He's just named Black Adam. He's not like from the Dark World.
Right.
He's just evil Shazam, but kind of not
But
really.
it's
But
still
also,
a powerful
this is-
mace.
Totally.
This is Wonder Woman's forte.
Yeah, hitting
a
people
melee
with big
weapon.
metal
This is
weapons.
perfect.
Yeah. So she's like, oh man, I can get used to using a mace. And then she gets shot in the face, and her tiara just blasts off. Oh
What?
no! What? It's the Batman Who Laughs, and he's like, lol,
What?
I shot you. Sometimes in the multiverse, like, we bang. I'm just telling you, like, there's a lot of different versions of Batman and Wonder Woman. It's kind of fun. But anyway,
Doesn't she know about the multiverse? He's
yeah,
not
she does.
telling tales out of
Yeah,
school
but she's not watching them. He's like, I've been
I
them all,
see.
friend.
I hop around between them and check them out,
Right.
like watch you and stuff.
Yeah. He's like, lol, I'm gonna kick your ass. So meanwhile,
Clearly shot her, right?
yeah. Well, but the tiara like deflected it.
Oh, but she looks pretty much down for the count. It was a lot of blood.
It was a
It's a flesh wound.
yeah.
Yeah, she's gonna get up.
She will.
She's impressive. It should have been a kill shot on anyone else.
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah, I see.
If there weren't a tiara and made of eighth metal.
Right.
And
I think he's monologuing at her
naturally.
before
He'll keep
instead of
monologuing,
hitting
don't
her
worry.
with the mace.
Yeah. So Deathstroke and Aquaman are trying to like access some of the nth metal, like some of the pure nth metal that's being forged from the fires of creation or from the Earth's core. They actually literally go to the Earth's core and they use like the machine that's down there. They're like, where'd this machine come from? What's this all about?
Oh, has it been here the whole time? Let's
yeah.
not touch upon that.
No time right now. So
Wasn't there a machine in the Earth's core in the Superman book?
I thought it was
Rogol puts one down there.
Yeah, it
Is
was
that
a
the same
bomb.
one?
No, because it's a bomb that's going to destroy the Earth
yeah.
like he destroyed Krypton. Man, I'm so glad Rogolzar's a character we can reference. But then, boom, harpooned. Whoomp, whoomp. Aquaman, Deathstroke, both harpooned by Black Manta, who's like, I'm a dick in every single place I arrive.
Dude, your world is going to be destroyed.
I made a deal with Barbados, and I
He
always...
made a deal with Barbados too?
Yeah.
So just all the villains made a deal with Barbados.
When it comes to Black Manta, he's an opportunist. I assume that he was in the same room as the deal was happening. And while they're forging the deal, he's like, oh, and me too.
Right. Well, is he timeless?
No.
Has he been around forever?
No.
How does he even know about this?
He's a dick.
He's just hanging out.
Yeah.
Spying on
he's
the...
an opportunist. He's just like,
Yeah.
oh, who's that over there? He looks like he's important.
I guess he saw what was happening to the world.
Right,
And
and
he's
he's
like, I gotta be on that side.
Right. It's not like I'm
Because
gonna
they're
help
bad, I'm bad.
It's not going
Right.
to end well for you, man.
Well,
it's fine. So
I
then-
assumed it was going to be the Bryce Wayne.
Yeah, no, well, it's everybody, actually. Like, all the dark Batmen come down,
Oh,
including
yes.
Bryce Wayne. And they're like, what up? We're going to kick your ass.
Right. You thought you had a chance, but no, we're here to thwart you.
Yeah. So Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific free themselves with Martian Manhunter. They go kick Ominar Sin's ass and Starro for that matter, and they
Yeah.
grab the Plastic Man egg.
You said that Starro didn't have
Oh,
an
but
ass.
they see Green Lantern uses his constructs and he constructs an ass for Starro
To be kicked in.
Good. There we go.
Closure.
An ass in which to kick him.
Precisely. So they go and they get to the cannon, and they're like, "Hey, wait a minute! This cannon isn't going to destroy the planet. It's going to like it's going to fill it with like dark energy or whatever. It's going to sink it into darkness. Why would they do that? Who would reprogram that?" And other dark Batmen come out and they're like, "It was us." And so
Really? You were able to tell that just by looking at it. That's amazing.
Well,
So
it's
they-
all dark.
So the Justice League, they all had to go to different places to go get the Nth Metal. But it's all part of a plan because Batman's a master planner that involves all of those things in conjunction with each other. So like they got to go steal the mace, they got to access that machine at the center of the Earth, and they got to go get the cannon. Well, they fire the cannon at the machine at the center of the Earth, and that will ricochet off of the mace, and that will activate the engine that requires the Earth to be plunged into the dark multiverse.
So this was the Batman Who Laughs plan.
Or all of theirs, but yeah.
yeah.
Yes, it was the Batman Who Laughs plan.
Okay.
So
not our Batman's plan.
No.
Good.
This
Well,
is
no,
not
our
good.
Batman is too busy hoping. So Batman Who Laughs puts Wonder Woman's tiara back on. He like sits her down. He's like, "I'm gonna leave you here to go fight because that's what you do. That's all you ever do across the multiverse. Like you fight endless battles and you say it's for your friends, but like ultimately
You're a warrior.
You're a warrior who just fights until she dies. And I'm gonna leave you to go do that. So long." So he leaves. Lady Blackhawk is engaged. She's like, "Ah," and so. So Wonder Woman takes her lasso of truth and she wraps it on her knuckles and she punches Kendra with
Oh,
it
sweet.
to kind of like snap her out of her thrall. So now,
right.
So rather than like wrapping her in it and waking her up.
no, it's
Well,
it's
it
more
doesn't
metal.
do that if you wrap someone in it, that just tells them the truth.
It
Makes them
it
tell the
compels
truth.
them, yeah.
If you punch
Or
them in the
if you punch
face
them in
with
the face,
it, it converts them to good.
To goodness, yeah. This one time.
It's a new power.
Right. And
Wonder Woman has many powers.
conveniently enough, Lady Blackhawk is now useful because she has like wings and stuff.
Oh, she's good, but she's still all metal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now Wonder Woman and Lady Blackhawk team up to go fight the endless horde that the Batman Who Laughs has unleashed on her that come from the Dark Multiverse, which includes like crazy souped up cheetah versions of Wonder Woman and whatnot.
Right. Well, Cheetah Woman or whatever is one of her villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Cheetah is.
Cheetah.
Yeah. Well, no, it's Cheetah Woman, who's like a dark multiverse version of Wonder Woman.
Right. It's like a fusion of Cheetah and Wonder Woman.
Right. Oh,
Sweet.
How does it happen? Who gives a shit? It's fun to see.
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah, and
So
it does.
So they fight, and Batman and Superman.
Are they still in the center of the Earth? Oh no, they weren't in the.
Arthur
they were in the.
and, yeah,
they were in
Aquaman
the,
and Deathstroke were in the center of it.
Right. She's in the place
Rock
with the
of
wizard.
They took a
Rock-
portal
yeah.
out
Yeah,
somehow.
yeah, yeah.
Is the wizard there?
Nah, he died.
Oh.
Wizard Shazam died.
Okay.
And so did Dr. Fate.
Yeah.
Well, that was-
kind of. And Shazam's not in this book.
Right.
Because they were going to use him, but Jeff Johns wanted to use him for something else, so he's not in the book.
Did they just leave the brain behind?
Batman Who Laughs steals it.
So the astral brain is not done.
No, we're not done with that. That's Plan B for Barbatos, which really all plans are.
And for brain.
People are gonna be mad they spent 2 hours watching the show. Superman and Batman notice that there's a spark. They just jump into the fires of the world.
Oh.
That is a bad idea.
No, it's
What
not.
are we supposed to do? Do we jump in it?
Do we jump in the lava? Do we make weapons out of it? What do we do?
What are we supposed to do?
Just jump in.
Jump in.
Yeah.
That's not how forges work. You will die.
How do you know how the World Forge
Yeah,
works?
it's
Are
like
you
a
a world
magical
forger?
forge.
Do you work at the World Forge?
Well, he's got a big
Do you
hammer.
forge worlds? Yeah, Carter has the hammer.
Yeah. It's not real lava, Ben.
It's metaphysical lava.
Yeah, it makes stories or whatever.
It makes worlds.
Yeah, but
Worlds that are
but
real.
But the worlds are also stories.
Yeah, because the world, it's not like it makes planets. Planets, I get. This is a world filled with analog characters that have their own like complicated histories that are analogs for other characters
Yeah.
from other worlds. So they jump into the lava, and and it's great because Superman's like, well, I guess this is it for us, old friend. Sorry. And Batman's like, no, it's not over so long as and they go under.
Right.
And so they're in and they go into the primordial soup, and then Wonder Woman is just like fatigued from all of the like exhausting fighting she's been
Yeah,
doing.
she's been fighting a lot of stuff.
And so Wonder Woman and Kendra are like up on top of a mountain of like garbage and skulls and shit. And she's like, okay, well, let's do this. Kendra, I'm gonna need you to do me a favor. I want you to yell so loud that it drowns out Barbatos and the Batman Who Laughs is laughing. And don't be confused because what you're yelling is not a scream. Never a scream. It's a war cry. And the two of them just plunge themselves into battle, homaging the cover to The Dark Knight Returns,
Yes.
which is kind of baller.
That is
Looks
bad
cool.
writing. I'm just gonna say that right now.
It's supposed to be
It's
totally
really
awesome.
clunky.
And it's so close to being awesome.
Right.
It's like it needed to go through the grinder.
It's a shame that it wasn't her idea.
Right.
Just Hawk Girls being like, that's it. Like, I've had enough of this. And
Yeah.
she's like, it's time to yell or do something like,
Right.
have it be her own idea.
Yeah. But it's a baller moment that is complicated by clunky writing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It is a little clunky. It needed to go through another pass or two. Because but this moment of the
that
two of them
image is
silhouetted against
really cool.
lightning is
Yeah.
awesome. But while they descend into the battle, you can see the books in Lucien's library continue to burn. So Kendra and Wonder Woman are kicking the crap out of characters.
Yeah, and they're like reflections of characters you recognize.
Yeah.
It's like a gross-looking Flash. And
Right,
I
or
saw
like
Bane in there.
Yeah, Bane's in there. Oh no! He's just Bane. It's just prime
yeah.
Bane. And I'm here too!
Do you have to sound like that?
Unfortunately, yes. That's my cultural significance. You know I'm Hispanic in the comics. So after Wonder Woman beheads a Minotaur version of herself, she's like, okay,
All right, I just beheaded a Minotaur of myself.
I have had enough.
This is messed.
So she's like, she basically gets it into her head. She's like, I gotta reach out to my friends. I gotta like wherever Batman and Superman are in the darkness, I need them to hear me.
No.
So we're gonna play it.
Oh, son of a bitch! You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, she's gonna play the note.
On
What she's gonna do is her bracers are made of 8th metal, but the mace is made of nth metal. So if I clang them together, that will make the notes I need to call to Bruce and Clark in the darkness to hear me.
remember that time Superman sang a song and like saved the world?
That's the thing. Well, because Barbados also is singing an anti-song that is like drowning out the fires and the truth and everything. So like,
where is he?
He's on top of the friggin' like
Tower.
Infinite Crisis Tower tuning fork thing.
Okay,
Just kind of like enjoying himself.
I see. What does he look like? Have we seen him yet?
Yeah,
We saw that.
We've seen him a million times, unfortunately, but he
Oh.
looks like this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So Wonder Woman clangs her bracer and mace together, and the notes reverberate throughout the known universe, and she reaches not just Bruce and Clark, but also the other members of the Justice League. And so they all join her in this area, this mosh pit of madness, where they're all battling, and it's just overwhelming, right? You know, you got Hal, who could literally make, I don't know, a giant fly swatter that could squish everyone here, but let's ignore that for a minute, and instead have a moment where Mr. Terrific is like, okay, Plastic Man, we've literally been teasing you appearing in this entire series for the last, like, 6 issues, and now it's time for you to appear. I know you're afraid because you don't think you're stable, and you think you're, like, you're not worthy or whatever, but, like, you gotta come out, do anything, make a dinosaur, make a bulldozer, make a shark, I don't care. And then Plastic Man emerges from the egg and goes, how about all of the above? And he just spreads out throughout the madness and makes sharks and dinosaurs and bulldozers and just attacks everybody. And Kendra's like, is that Plastic Man? Should I know who that is? Never mind that. Continuity. So Plastic Man clears a path for Kendra and Wonder Woman to then face Barbados. They're getting there because next to Barbados and the tuning fork and everything and the dragons, the Joker dragons, is the portal for Barbados' armies to spill out. Because now it's just like the Earth is just overrun by madness and monsters. from
Right,
the Dark
because they
Multiverse.
got hit by the cannon.
Yep.
Well, isn't it in the dark?
We're in the Dark Multiverse, but there's
Multiverse
also
now?
like a hole that like they come out from.
Ah.
Well, because like they still have to like land from planets and stuff.
Right,
So this is just
right,
more
right.
convenient. It's a tunnel or whatever.
Yeah.
So, basically, Kendra's like, you got to go in there, Wonder Woman. Like Bruce
Yeah.
and Clark are down there,
Yeah,
like
you-
through there, because like it goes straight into the darkness.
Don't come with me, Hawk Girl.
Well, because like
Don't risk it.
Well, the idea here is that like there's a reason at least. They explain
Yeah.
at least that like Kendra doesn't have enough hope in her heart, like that that Wonder Woman.
Well, because
all
she was going to use the brain thing to.
I'm literally a dark, twisted metal version of Hawk Girl.
Oh, right.
I'm not the person
Right.
to appeal to everyone's sensibilities. You
Yeah.
got to jump into the darkness with your hope and your lasso and rappel down there and get Bruce and Clark out of there.
I'm a little terrified that she's going to betray them all.
She's not.
But
No,
she's
she
a dark,
got
twisted
punched-
metal version.
But she got punched.
She got punched by the lasso bracer,
You forgot
yeah.
that part.
Well, why doesn't Wonder Woman punch everyone with the lasso bracer?
Well, because
Well, 'cause
Kendra
that
actually
was
is. Kendra's,
Hawkgirl.
Yeah, Hawkgirl's not a twisted dark multiverse version that shouldn't even exist. That's Kendra Saunders. She's been corrupted by Barbatos.
Right.
She's not an evil version
These
that
things
is.
they're fighting never were.
Yeah, they shouldn't
their
exist.
good
They should not
versions.
be.
Yeah. They were supposed to be devoured by the dragon.
Exactly, but that dragon is instead like spilling them all over the earth. So Wonder Woman bungee jumps into there, and when she gets down there, she sees Hawkman, like Carter Hall, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing here? I'm gonna hit you with my big hammer."
Right.
And she's like, "Uh-oh." And then Kendra comes down there anyway, thus negating the last 2 pages. And she's like, "Carter Hall, what are you doing here? It's me, Kendra." And then
Who?
and then Barbatos shows up, and he's like, "Shut up.
And I'm here
No,
too.
no, knock it off. Don't make him think he can get laid." Maybe
I'm holding that over him the entire time.
I'll reinforce it. Bzz. So Emperor Palpatine's the dragon, who has been nothing but supportive for Barbatos the entire time.
Right.
So he zaps him. So Barbatos loses track of Wonder Woman because he's too busy monologuing and zapping Carter Hall for no reason.
He's now focused on Hawkgirl.
Hawkgirl, yeah.
Yeah, she's the bigger threat, maybe.
Presumably.
Yeah.
And what's great is, in a tie-in, Chimp and other characters get onto the multiversal ship that's powered by music, and they go through the multiverse to try and like save everybody, along with Flash and stuff. And that's
This
story
was a
for-
Grant Morrison thing, right? That ship?
Yes, that was
Okay.
from Multiversity.
Yeah.
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 What matters in this story is they go throughout the multiverse and they grab other cool multiversal versions of Batman to help them, which includes
sense.
Dark Knight Returns Batman and Batman Cuff from Superman Red Sun
Yay.
and Red Rain Batman
What? No!
and Gotham by Gaslight Batman
Okay.
And Pirate Chimp.
How do they get
They
the
don't
vampire
grab
Batman
Thomas
on board?
Wayne?
Now, he's an asshole. And they don't want to use him right now.
No.
But, like, I love it because, you know, you get to see Greg Capullo draw a Dark Knight Returns Batman. That's fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
What the hell is 60-year-old Dark Knight Returns Batman
Gonna
do here?
Right. Why didn't you get the Superman versions from those other universes?
Because this is a Bat book.
You could have gotten the Superman from Dark Knight Returns universe.
Yeah! You could have gotten All-Star Superman! No, it's a Batman book. This is awesome. Also, didn't Batman die? And isn't he like an anarchist?
Oh, it's the time-displaced vampire Batman.
Didn't Vampire Batman for Red Rain die too?
Yes.
Wasn't he a jerk too?
Yeah.
What's Gotham by Gaslight Batman gonna do? As far
He's
as
gonna
I'm concerned-
look awesome. Yeah. So what do they do?
Oh, they don't do anything. You don't see them again.
They're in the fight.
They're in this page.
They're punching the smaller guys
Yeah.
that Wonder Woman was fighting before.
Right. They're punching Cheetah Wonder Woman or
Yeah.
whatever. So, Hawkman, Carter Hall, monster, Dragon of the Forge, he falls into the ooze, the forge, because he got zapped by Barbados for no good reason. And Kendra's like, "Get up, you're Carter Hall! We're gonna bang when this is over!" And,
Okay.
right? And, Barbados sends the Joker dragons to go, like, breathe on her or whatever. And Hawkman, like, falls into the ooze. And Barbados is like, "Lol, let them hope. Let them feel hope. It'll be all the more delicious when they are defeated." And then Wonder Woman and Batman and Superman spring out from the World Forge, now donned in totally rad and cool armor, which is made of 10th metal. And 10th metal is the metal from the Forge. And it can become whatever you want.
I
It's
hate
like
this.
imagination or whatever. What?
Nth metal was supposed to be the thing that hurts them.
Yeah.
They were supposed to go to the Forge to get nth metal.
No,
No,
they
well,
were gonna
well,
bring-
they presumed it was nth metal, but really Dream was leading them to get 10th metal, which is like pure imagination.
But
or
don't
something.
worry, Barbato's gonna come back with 11th metal.
Right? Like they're making a sequel to this. So yeah.
because it
they're-
doesn't end.
No, it does end.
Okay.
It does end, and then it dovetails perfectly into Scott Snyder's Justice League run, which also doesn't end, because that's going to dovetail perfectly into Death Metal, the sequel to Dark Knight's Metal. Anyway, they got 10th metal. They can
got-
win now.
So they got the metal that will enable them to in the book
Succeed.
to succeed. yeah.
Indeed. So, they're having an awesome time. They're kicking ass. Superman's like, "I'll fly up to Barbados. You can punch him in the face." And Batman's like, "No, I got to ride." And one of the Joker dragons comes to Batman. Batman breaks its nose and then jumps on its head. And now I guess it's honor bound to help Batman fly around because Batman rides him. And as he rides around the battlefield, Batman whips up batarangs made of 10th metal and he plunges them into the hearts of his friends. And then it becomes armor for them to become awesome.
Oh, thank God. I thought he was hurting his friends.
No, he's just awesome. And so now the Justice League is donned with metal like they were at the beginning of the story, but instead of it hurting them, it helps them. And so now they're able to kick ass and take names. And then Carter...
Just the Justice League, though, not the other superheroes that are there to help them?
Oh no, Green Arrow has to carry steel.
And Harley Quinn is there?
Why not? She's the fifth pillar of the DC universe. So Carter Hall comes out of the forge and he hits Barbados with his great hammer. And then Barbados is like, "Looks like it's gonna fail. Hear me, my favorite knight. Plan B for Barbados." So the Batman Who Laughs reveals that he's been holding, and if you read a tie-in, you'd know this already. He's been holding the Monitor from Crisis hostage, and
What?
the Batman Who Laughs has the Overmonitor and the Anti-Monitor's astral brain, and in conjunction with each other, along with this machine he's got, he's going to destroy everything. Like, well, if I can't win, I'll just take my toys and go home.
I know, I'll plunge
Sure.
the brain into the Overmonitor.
The idea here is, yes, like I'll use your positive matter
Right.
and its antimatter combined with this machine that I've got over here.
Astral matter.
Precisely.
It's not actual matter.
No, yeah, but it's actually that's much worse. So it will destroy everything, and so he's like,
Right.
"Sweet." And since I'm an asshole, a nihilist doesn't matter. Here we
Right.
go.
That's
and
so metal.
Yeah, right. So right before he does, Batman shows up, and Batman's like,
Sure.
"Oh, you call this a Batcave?" And the Batman Who Laughs is like, conveniently enough, this area you're in is full of such dark energy that your 10th metal won't work here, so that we have to have an even fight."
Right.
Yeah, don't. It just so we can have Batman not covered in goofy metal so that he can punch the Batman Who Laughs.
Right.
So the Batman Who Laughs unleashes the Robins. Batman dispatches them immediately with some cool smoke effect, and the two of them go, blow for blow, and they're too evenly matched, and it looks like Batman's gonna get the upper hand, and the Batman Who Laughs just shoots Batman in the stomach with the same gun that killed their parents. Ha 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 ha. Poetic. And so as he's about to shoot him in the face, Batman goes, just fire the damn gun already. And Batman Who Laughs is like, oh, I intend to. But he's not talking to the Batman Who Laughs. He's talking to the Joker. And Joker shoots the Batman Who Laughs in the back with one of his patented Joker bang flags. Cool. And so Batman and the Joker team up to fight the Batman Who Laughs.
Why does everyone want that to happen?
You mean Batman and Joker to team up?
Yeah, they're not best friends.
They're not. That's what's so...
Well, it's like when Lex Luthor works with Superman to save the world because he does care about the world.
Right.
The Joker doesn't.
Well,
That's
Joker...
not in his character.
No, but Joker would definitely not want to not exist anymore.
Right, I guess.
I get the feeling he wouldn't care.
Well, conveniently enough, he does.
He does.
So
and what's funnier than him defeating the Joker-fied version of Batman from the Dark Multiverse?
Yeah. Well, what's funnier than Batman and Joker teaming up?
Oh, there you go. Does he say that?
No, but Batman says, by the way, Joker, we never speak of this. And Joker's like, ha ha ha. So Batman and Joker overwhelm the Batman Who Laughs, who's just like, well, all I gotta do is flip the switch and it'll activate my thing. So he just reaches for the switch. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman, she's got her cool 10th metal armor.
Yeah.
And she's got these different kind of 10th metal bracers that have awesome, claws on them.
Oh.
Yeah. And she throws one to Kendra, who then dons it, puts it on, and then plows through Barbados's back and out his chest. And she's like, yeah. And Barbados kind of becomes goop. But that won't stop him for long, so we gotta figure out how to beat him.
Yeah, it can't be that easy.
No, it can't be that easy. So Batman grabs the Overmonitor, he brings him to the team, and they're all like, what are we gonna do? And Overmonitor's like, I'll explain the plot from here on out. And so he goes, here's what you need to do. You guys are covered in 10th metal. That's pure possibility. That combined with your hope, if you all join hands.
Stop the hope! This is...
If you all join hands and Care Bear stare this problem, we can defeat the darkness.
Yeah.
So they're all gonna sing a song?
They sing a song that reverberates off of the 10th metal that connects to every man, woman, and child in the multiverse. And it gives them hope. And so combined with the hope of every living person and tree and bird, it rises the earth out of the dark multiverse and coincidentally also pokes a hole in the source wall, which allows Scott Snyder to continue to write Justice League. So that happens and everyone wins the end. But then we have a little denouement.
How anticlimactic.
What's the hand?
The hand is an implication of the hand that you see at the beginning of creation. And so we're implying that we're going to see the creator of everything. And in fact, we do.
And it was behind the source wall.
Yes, and it was behind the source wall, and it was Perpetua, who is a dark god who hates everything. So, yay, hope! What? Batman throws a dinner party for everybody, and they all, hang out. There's some fun moments in here, like Alfred tailors a suit for Superman. And Superman does own a tuxedo, but he doesn't own a tuxedo that fits him properly because otherwise he would look awesome.
Yeah, instead of a goofy Clark Kent.
Yeah, it has to be ill-fitting. So he's like, this is too bad that I could never wear this thing anywhere else. I guess Lois will really like to see me in this. So Batman basically has a toast, and he's like, we got here because I didn't trust you. We should trust each other. Let's launch Justice League as a book written by Scott Snyder. So they do. And in addition to that, they also were like, hey, this metal thing was interesting, and a lot of people just kind of bought it without questioning it. So maybe we can use it as plot contrivances to introduce new characters like Sideways and Rampage and other characters that no one will ever read, so that maybe we'll introduce a whole new world of readers and characters.
Right.
But for a little while, the Dark Matter universe is a series of books that they sprung out of this that is forged from metal. I forgot to mention Duke has a little bit of nth metal in him, and that allows him to have powers. He can illuminate.
Oh.
And he's the Signal now, so he finally gets a character name. And then he gets a mini series that no one read, and so he's gone.
So it's the same thing that happens every time they do a crisis and they create new characters that nobody cares about.
Right.
And,
Right. Remember Millennium? Remember that team?
No, I don't. I wasn't on that.
Remember Millennium?
I don't remember anything.
All right.
So
and then they have a dance party.
And now everyone is there?
Everybody comes to the party. Yeah, like Swamp Thing and Damien and John play the songs.
No,
yeah.
no, you don't get your bad sons to play a band to play your party.
Is it like metal music? It doesn't look like it.
Well,
There's not nearly enough pyro.
oh my God, Alfred's on drums.
And
It's Wayne Manor. I would love to go to a rager at Wayne
Yeah.
Manor. Are you kidding me? Especially if Alfred's gonna go 1, 2, 3, which is literally a thing in this book. So yeah,
Sure, yeah. He does everything else for Batman. Why not?
why not?
back up his
Drums.
sons.
So yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, Batman then tricks the whole Justice League into going to an awesome party and stomaching his son's music, so that he can take the Trinity into the back room and be like, "We're building the Hall of Justice. We're gonna launch Scott Snyder's Justice League book right after this. It's gonna be awesome."
Cool.
If you'd like to pick up a copy, I'll put a link in the description for you to pick up Dark Knight's Metal.
I'm not gonna lie, this is garbage, but I am gonna read it afterwards.
Listen, when it was happening, I remember being like, "This is pretty cool."
And I want to have that experience. I want to read
That's
this
the thing.
now.
There's a lot of cool elements from this story. There's a lot of cool visuals, and the concept of. I wish that it came from a perspective, like if Snyder really wanted to talk about story,
Yeah.
I wish that like the Daniel Hall thing was more impactful and a little bit more like
Yeah.
part of it.
Well, and nothing hurts story more than just a Deus Ex Machina at the end.
Well,
That's bad story writing.
Yeah, but it's timeless DC like storytelling.
Yeah.
They do it all the time.
that's true. That's like Elemental. That's,
Yeah.
That's the 11th
Ooh,
metal.
Elemental.
Oh. You know, arguably this is the first time foil on the cover has ever been
Worked.
appropriate.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely they're aping off of like the 90s, like, but also like, why not?
Yeah.
If ever you're going to do it.
Yep.
Now's
Now's the time.
Oh, wait, I've got it. How about in 2020 when you do a sequel called Death Metal? Yeah!
Yeah.
I'd like
Scott
a
Snyder, you're a
sequel?
big death metal fan there?
Yeah.
Death metal is rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, no.
People who like it really like it, but it is really like niche. Like
Yes.
it,
It's a little too niche.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there are even subgenres of death metal.
well, there are, yeah.
Yeah. There
very
is.
complicated.
Incidentally, when they were developing the story, they also developed like a Spotify playlist that you could listen to while you read the book. Which is cool and still available. So
Cool.
if I can find it, I'll put it in the description so you can grab the book and listen to the song. I know you
wanna
will
see,
do that.
I want to see what bands are on there.
So long.
Sal, you can't end it on a low note like that. You
Yeah.
can't.
Oh,
whisper
no, I
quietly
gotta-
into the night.
it's gotta
you
go
have
to-
you have to yell.
Yeah.
You have to inspire the people.
It's got to be a war
It's a
cry.
war cry.
Yeah!
Oh, Christ.
Dark Knight's Metal is a mess. Everything
Wait,
happened and
no,
nothing
you said
happened.
it came out of a mess.
Well, and
Is
it also
this
is
also
a mess.
Well, it has to be because like it wants to have its cake and eat it too,
All right.
which it does.
Who doesn't have cake and eat it?
Right.
Who just has cake?
Well, in
there, I got
fact,
cake. It's on the shelf. It'll be there forever.
In point of fact, the original quote is not "have your cake and eat it too."
Well, because that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
What
It's
is
you
the
can't
original quote?
eat your cake and have it too.
Oh.
If you eat it, you won't have it anymore.
Right.
You can't have both.
Right.
That's the real quote.
Yeah, but
and then
why
it's
would you
been
want to
more-
have it without eating it anyway?
Well, because maybe it's like a beautiful piece of art or something like that, or like you can't have it.
Yeah, it's one of those shitty fondant monstrosities.
But I think it's really more like if you have it, like you have your cake, but once you've eaten it, you don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
And it's like
no, but I have it right in my
doesn't
tummy.
do to consume it and then lament not having it anymore.
Exactly.
Like it's a necessary consequence of eating it.
And that's what the whole thing's about.
Can I share a little embarrassing secret about Hawkman?
Why not?
So, at one time, before I was really sure on like who was in DC and who was in Marvel,
Sure.
I thought Beta Ray Bill
Yeah, was Hawkman?
was Hawkman without the beak.
Like
something
he took his
happened
mask
to
off
it.
or something?
So like it was just a Hawkman without a beak.
Yeah.
Because I remember the wings and like
Yeah.
I wasn't really steeped in it.
Sure.
And I just saw this terrifying man. I was like, ah.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be Hawkman. Why is he missing his beak?
Right. Well, and now you know better.
And like because he has a hammer
Right.
and Hawkman has a mace.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
There were just some
I can see how you could
similarities, and I
yeah.
was confused.
sort of make that error. Yeah. It's,
Yeah, well, and Beta Ray Bill has a cape and Hawkman has wings, so it's like No.
I will say the color scheme is a little bit similar.
A little.
In that there's yellow,
Yes.
kind of in both of them, and red.
Yes. And green, though, for Hawkman. And the fact that Hawkman looks like a literal Hawkman, and Beta Ray Bill is a horseman.
But doesn't he have wings on his like hat?
He has a
or
helmet.
something?
He
that
has
has
helmet
wings.
that has wings.
He does, yeah.
There were similarities.
I hear
where
what you're
was just
saying.
confused.
I don't blame you, because, like, you know, when I was growing up, I had all this crap.
Well, because I also thought, like, no, there's only one Thor.
Well, I remember being like, well, when I was growing up, there was literally a book called The Thor Corps.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm like, oh my God, I couldn't care less about one of these, and there's 6 Thors. Like, get out of here. But and one of them's a horseman. That being said, Beta Ray Bill is baller.
Beta Ray Bill's cool.
Yeah, I think he's
a
going to be in that
little
next Thor movie, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
That's a good idea.
But anyway, Hawkman.
Hawkman.